There we go. What's up? It's me, Venom. Sitting with your new baby bunnies. That's cute. What are their names? Probably Joel, huh? They're all named Joel. I'm just creeping to see if you're alive. We made it. I made it. We are good to go. I'm behind, but I'm thinking we will kick these off. How are you guys? What's new? Anything cool going on? Welcome to the stream. We're going to be recording some scary road trip stories. A night of unhinged comments. Who's unhinged in here? We're gonna put you in a padded cell. Sadly still employed. Yeah, such is the way of the world. You make all my Uber DoorDash adventures so worthwhile. Yas, Queen, I got you, bro. You just get me my food on time, please. JK. Just throw it through my window. Just passed an 85 question certification test that'll earn me a 5% pay raise. Let's go, Bagman. That's what I like to hear. Haven't caught live in a million years. Good to see you, yeah. Road trip stories tonight. How was my workout today? It was good. It was legs day. We did a bunch of stuff in the beginning. And it, like hip thrust first. And then we went to like leg extensions and we kind of killed everything there. And then we ended up finishing out the leg exercise with like hack squat and leg press. And honestly, that wasn't bad, I honestly feel like that, like doing the compound or the, much stronger employment of muscle groups, like at the end, was a different approach, and I liked it. What's scary about road trip is how you can drive for 3 hours and only get 10 miles. What, like driving in circles or something? My nephew and his family just took a road trip from Michigan to Oklahoma and make a new life with us. Oh, that sounds nice. Whole new life. Hey Joel, my schedule is absolutely stupid, but I finally get to catch a little bit of a live stream before bed. 2:30 comes early. Dang, what time is it? Oh, I guess you're in the UK, huh? Or before the UK. But I'm glad you can join us.
Joshua. Oi, Joshua. Be sure to pay your respects.
Fire department medic bridge to RN. What's your opinion? I honestly always thought those first responder people that became registered nurses were much better at their job just because they had like that sort of people, that chaos environment experience. And like the medics, all that kind of shit, they see so much crap, right? So when they get to be a registered nurse, it's like they pretty much thrive in the ED, right? The emergency department. All the other floors are kind of like a joke to them. But I don't know. They always did the best just because it's like whatever you put in front of them, they're going to handle it like no matter what. Same with like the military people and all that kind of stuff. Like they just have more experience than everyone else. Do you get ripped up or stony baloney when recording these? No, I haven't been unsober in a while. Are black people allowed in here? Hold on,
Let me check the rules. Let me look at YouTube's terms of services. Huh. Why, yes, they are.
They must have recently changed that. That's exciting. Finally took a rest day today and got 8 hours of sleep even. I'll do my ultimate sojourn today with a live stream in my ear. What's sojourn mean? Is that an Overwatch character? Gonna aim for 7+ miles. Oh, that's right. El de Gusto. Yeah, you're freaking killing it with the weighted runs. Oh, man. But honestly, maybe what do you guys think? Maybe I just get right into the reading because I kind of want to get a move on in these. This is, I think the word count on this one's a little bit higher than normal. I'm a proud mom. My toddler loves watching The Incredibles. Let's go. He loves Mama Incredible. All right, friends. Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's just get reading. Sojourn, like a fancy word for travel. I'll do my ultimate travel today with... Oh, okay, nice. Oh, right. You're traversing. You're trotting along. You use too many big words. What stories do we have today? We got some... A little bit of road shrimps. Road shrimp. No gaming news and strange news first. If you have any gaming news you want me to talk about, all I know is that Pal World essentially shit on Nintendo related to their dumb fucking, you know how like Nintendo was trying to sue Pal World, but then was like going back and trying to like retroactively create patents that somehow apply that Pal World was breaking, and then, I don't know, it was all just a bunch of nonsense. It's like Pal World's good, right? But it's not like the end-all be-all. It's literally just like the fact that Pokemon as a video game has made no efforts to like change itself other than like going 3D. But even whenever it like went 3D, it's not that great, you know. I can't honestly. There was like some game more recently where it was like a mixture between 2D and 3D, where it was like 2D characters with some 3D environments, you know. And I'm like, Pokemon would have done really well with that. Like, just keep the sort of semi-isometric bird's eye view, you know. Like, all you had to do was just continue to put out like really high-end pixel art, and that would be beautiful to me. But instead, I don't know. Pokemon to me is just in a weird spot. Like, it's obviously never going to really fail. But what's up, Justine? So strange to hear you talk like a bro. I mean, the swearing. Oh yeah, no worries. We'll get started into the first story here. So, I'm from Newcastle, born and raised, but I lived down south in Bristol for a few years now. Just after lockdown was lifted, I decided to take a quick road trip back home to see the parents and my old pals. It was the worst decision of my life and led to the scariest, most death-defying moment I've ever experienced. I was driving down the motorway on the way home, like you do, and I was heading towards an overpass, just one of many, and thought absolutely nothing of it. Why would I? You drive under dozens of these heading cross-country. My takes on Pokemon are Well, I mean, do you think Pokemon... I mean, honestly, though, like, do you think Pokemon has, like, gotten better over time as a whole? Like, the three-dimensional... Like, wasn't Scarlet and Violet ass? Wasn't the most recent ones, like, a buggy mess? And you had to download DLC? Like, what happened to the days where you just, like, spend $40 on Pokemon and just, you know, maybe you had to get the other version so you can trade for some you know? To me, it just seems like Pokemon has so much further, and you know what I mean. The fact that they Pal World or Nintendo spent $40-some million in lawsuits trying to bring down Pal World. They could have spent $40-some million in making a good fucking game that people liked instead of trying to kill their competition. You know, anybody who even comes close to their fucking cash cow, they're like, we gotta bring them down. They're like worse than fucking Disney, bro. Roki, Welcome back for 14 months. Finally, I'm free during live. Good to see you, friend. How you been? Pokemon games past several generations are low effort garbage. Yeah, so I don't really think my take is but whenever, like... I mean, that's essentially it. What up, Joel? Not to get right into the reading, we need more yapping, but not about obsession. That bear character is a dick. Finally watched it. Yeah, I think I'm done talking about obsession. We've moved on. What's up, Snarf? Snarf. You drive under dozens of these heading cross-country across the United Kingdom. And as I passed under the overpass and out the other side, something came smashing down onto the bonnet of my Ford. It took me a second or two to react, dangerously slow even, and then I realized some effing little effer had dropped a breeze block off of the overpass and right onto my car. Now you hear about this happening sometimes. Gangs of teens are just some dumb kids who don't realize that they're likely to kill someone by doing this. You just never expect it to happen to you. Thankfully, the motorway was pretty deserted and I was able to pull onto the hard shoulder. Now the whole time my car was beginning to smoke and cracks were spiderwebbing up through my windscreen. I pulled over, jumped out, and then winced as I realized that I'd left my phone in the car and had to lean back in to get it out. I'd gotten out a meter or so from the vehicle when the windscreen shattered inwards completely, breaking apart into those sort of chunks of glass that the car windscreens do. Now immediately I was on the phone with the coppers straight to 999 and I told them what had happened. My voice was shaking and almost cracking from the fact that I'd nearly bloody died. They talked me through everything, whether it was safe to put on my hazard lights and all that kind of stuff, and then they told me that I was the third person in the area to take a hit from that overpass, but the first to suffer such a risky bullseye. Now I got kind of mad then and asked why they weren't monitoring the overpass to see who was doing this crap, and bless the lady on the phone, she was so patient with me. She explained that they had been monitoring the overpass, but they didn't have the manpower to keep watch 24/7, and I'd gotten extremely unlucky. And so, to their credit, the cops showed up very quickly, cordoned off the area, and then took me to the police station in the nearest town to give a statement. Now, they even gave me vouchers for a travel lodge and a car rental company, because my car had to be taken in for forensic evidence. Now, I asked them what they expected to find from a shattered breeze block, and they said that they had to check anyway. And I got a bit suspicious and pressed the issue on this. And it turns out that after cordoning off my car and driving me into town, they'd left it... A buddy spent... They have no issues with Digimon or some other franchise that completely ripped them off. Right, you know, and the fact that, like, Pokemon also, you know, was... The idea of, like, catching monsters or whatever in some sort of containment area isn't entirely new prior to, like, the creation of Pokemon in the early 90s or whatever. I forget if it was, like, Monster Rancher or something. I forget what game it was, but I don't know. They definitely borrowed it in some sense. It's because the evil side is taking over the gaming industry, and evil cannot create something new and beautiful. It can only corrupt and destroy. I mean, there are basically no good games coming out. I know, it's so weird, like, the fact that... Like, there's this one streamer I used to watch. His name is Seagull, Seagull. He's a good guy, and he's good at shooting games and all that good stuff. And, you know, sometimes he takes breaks from stuff, because streaming, I'm sure, in that, especially in the gaming realm, becomes quite tedious, especially since they have to do it, like, you know, every day, multiple hours, multiple times a day. I mean, pretty much a full-time job, but there's something strange, I feel like, about the idea of entertaining people for that many hours where you just, like, your brain gets all the juices sucked out of it, like Starship Troopers or something. But anyways, he comes back, and I genuinely feel kind of bad that after, like, a decade, he still has to play Overwatch. That's not to say that I didn't play Overwatch for, like, an extraordinary amount of time, but why the fuck do they just, like, not make new games anymore? And then the ones they do, it just sort of, I don't know, they don't really go anywhere. I mean, our creators died so fucking fast. I'm very excited for War Dogs. I don't know if anybody knows what War Dogs is, but basically it's kind of like Battlefield in a way, with a little bit of milsim stuff in it, but then like you get money whenever you accomplish tasks, and then that, you know, translates to the next rounds and all sorts of stuff, and it looks really fun. And the cool thing about it is that it genuinely just seems like the devs that are making the game are the kind of people that like actually want to play the game. It's not just like a bunch of bullshit from top to bottom like Bungie or whatever the fuck, or, you know, Xbox. I love Monster Rancher. It makes me so proud. Joel's knows stuff. And Digimon. Yeah, I never got into Digimon when I was younger, but I did have like the little handheld things. Design-wise, you can tell the difference between Pokemon and Digimonster from Yu-Gi-Oh! And a monster from Monster Rancher. Pal World monsters are literally bootleg Pokemon. That's fair. That's fair. I guess. Is it that much different? Is it because they use like AI to make them or something like that? And it just, I mean, I don't know. Then it would, is there really that much different? I don't know. Sounds like Counter-Strike. Yeah, I think there's some elements of Counter-Strike in War Dogs. I think it's going into alpha right now, and then it comes out, it like fully releases, I believe, at the end of August or September. So it should be sick. Did you ever play Dungeon Keeper 1 or 2? Dungeon Keeper? I don't think so. Black Myth Wukong. I hate that game, but I can't stop playing. Black Myth Wukong is cool. I mean, I'm not really a Dark Souls fan. I'm kind of sad that action RPGs have been completely taken over by Dark Souls games, but they do look pretty. I paid a man witch $30 for a money spell, and then went to the casino and walked out with $3K in my pocket. Was the man witch Justin? Because we got our own in-house man witch. Joey, please check out Barony. It's a pixel dungeon crawler. It's indie and has very amazing fan base. It's a fun modding community too. That's cool. Yeah, you know what's wild is like Pokemon, like back on like the Fire, they oftentimes use the Fire Red base, I guess, cartridges or whatever, but they make a bunch of mods for like the old school Pokemon, and you can literally buy the cartridges off certain sites and play like entire new regions with tons of different Pokemon and all these different like storylines. Like the one I got was like Rocket Red, and it was fun. It was like you got to be on Team Rocket and take people's Pokemon and be evil and have funny dialogue and all this, you know what I mean? I was just like, there's so many people that I feel like Game Freak or Nintendo or whatever could have like hired to make good Pokemon games, but they just, I don't know, there's something really abstractly annoying about Nintendo in general. Just so much underutilized IPs. Turns out that after cordoning my car off and driving me into town, they'd let it abandoned until the tow vehicle got there. In that time, someone had graffitied a cock along the side of the car, as well as opened the door and rifled through my glove compartment. And so they wanted to take the car into the impound and check it for evidence. Well, this process took months, and by then I managed to finally sort out a new car with my insurance company. And eventually, though, I did hear back from the cops. They'd found a couple of fingerprints. Oh joy, right? Well, the culprits who nearly killed me had been identified, and they were going to get their just desserts. Except they were all under 18, which meant the worst that they could face was a short stint in juvie, and they didn't even get that. I didn't even get to hear about all the details because apparently the culprits were like a lot younger than 18, but basically it was decided that they weren't intending to actually hit any cars or hurt anyone by dropping breeze blocks off of a freaking overpass. And so they got a warning on their criminal record, which will be expunged when they turn 18. And I got to enjoy the experience of nearly dying and then having to spend literal hours on the phone to my insurance company trying to get a payout in a new car. Next time I travel home to Newcastle, I'm taking the bloody train. Pokemon Uranium is bloody brilliant and a thorough new game. So that's cool. That's so cool to me. Like the fact that there's just like some, like that's what I love about the modding people, the modding community, is that they're so passionate about the thing that they play that they will just like no life something, get paid nothing for it, and then just, you know, do it for the love of the game, literally. The main problem with Pokemon is that every game is a soft reboot for the next 10 years old generation so we don't feel the franchise aging and evolving with us. That and development schedule. Yeah. I mean, hopefully... that's the thing, though, is like 10-year-olds will play anything, right? So, like, I don't really see an issue with, like, just trying to make a game better and advance it, you know, because they always do that with Mario. Mario always feels like it's kind of like a progressively better platforming game, right? So I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to think of some new concepts or new sort of design choice. I don't know, all the stuff that they do add, like Mega Evolutions or whatever, VMAX or whatever the frick, just like makes me sick. I don't know. It just feels so gimmicky and dumb. Anyone read Blood Meridian? I've heard of it. I know when Mr. Wendy Goon has done a big old video on it. Thick Pokemon version, the best mod. Exactly. Been a hot minute. Glad we're back on the topic of Pokemon. Finally. Battlefield just updated. Anti-cheating program is updated and it's still infected with hackers. Or maybe, just maybe, I still suck at the damn game. I saw the new update for Battlefield added some like cool water physics, which, I don't know, that's one thing. Like when you're floating there, like the waves will like lift you up and stuff. Mario, Zelda, Metroid are all made by Nintendo. Pokemon isn't. Oh, like completely in-house. I guess that makes sense. Is Game Freak just dog shit then? I mean, because there are some fun Pokemon games not made by Game Freak. You just think that Game Freak would like there'd be some pressure from the Nintendo company to invest and get a bunch more people. I don't know. The Hootie Patootie, welcome back for 55 months. It's been a hot second. Still love you. Thank you, Hootie Patootie. Good to see you. The new gen Pokemon feel like they're Disney side characters or something. The art's so bad, so alone putting me off from bothering the whole franchise. And that's fair. I totally get it. It's like just trying to grasp onto the nostalgia of the past. I remember once we got to Gen 3, like I love the graphics of Gen 3, but I don't know, that art style, this is going to sound a bit sacrilege to some people, but once the art style got to, I don't know, all the legendaries looking like Latios and Latios, you know what I'm talking about? Like that weird jaggedy edge, you know, everything's like a jaggedy edge, like like they took polygonal shapes and just like threw them into a little dice cup and then like threw them up on the table and they're like, okay, what did this create? This is Dialga or Dialgia or whatever, you know what I mean? Just, there's no organic vibe to it the way you get with fucking Mewtwo. Mewtwo was just cool, you know? He had a cool story. Everybody else is like, I'm the god of everything. When I sneeze, whole continents come to life, which is sweet, but they just look stupid with their weird polygonal shapes. Just fall asleep and talking about Pokemon? Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. We're little game freaks over here. Hey, Joel. I got a quick one for you which happened to me and my family last summer. Now, we were off on a road trip for our summer vacation, something we'd always wanted to do as a family and never had. Now, I'd never do it again either, for a whole bunch of reasons. Both the kids arguing constantly, me and the wife arguing constantly, the boring fatigue of driving endlessly, all sorts of reasons. But I think the biggest reason I'd skip out on another road trip vacation was Grandpa. We'd stopped at a national park for a picnic. I forget which one now, the whole thing was a bit of a hectic blur, and what I do remember is when we returned to the parking lot, there was a guy sitting in the back seat of my car. The car had been locked, and to this day I have no idea how he got in. He looked like he was maybe in his mid-20s, but he had extremely pale blonde hair, almost white, something I immediately noticed. I pulled open the door and began demanding, what gives? And he starts talking and calling himself Grandpa, telling us to hurry up and get in so we could get a move on. Now the kids come over because they were curious, and I was trying to gesture to my wife to take them away while also keeping an eye on this Grandpa character. Now when he saw the kids, he got excited to see them and told them to hurry up and get in beside Grandpa so we could move on to our next stop. Now somehow he knew exactly where we were going next, and that kind of Tennis, pong, and a gun thingy. What are you talking about? The Pikachu step counter was crazy. Slight to me as a fat kid. That was cool. Encouraging people to get out. I remember that game Animal Well. I don't know if you guys have played that, but that's like one of my favorite games ever. But there was like so many crazy secrets in it, and one of them was like a step counter in the game, but you had to like hit an exact like step counter of like a certain amount of 1,000, and then the step counter that exists within the screen will move the screen perfectly in front of, I think, like an egg or some type of secret that you can grab. And I don't know, there's just so much shit in that game that's crazy. Mewtwo looks like a raw fetus, but original. Every legendary now. Look at this weird cat dinosaur, yeah. YouTuber. Thank you. Pokemon art nowadays looks like they made something random in Blender. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard. You just... I don't know. I mean, is it the same artist? Is it the same... Who's doing all the character design? You could just, like, have the fans come up with shit and submit, like, literally millions of, like, Pokemon concepts, and then just pick the ones you like or whatever. Just go from there. Get them involved. Animal Well was a labor of love. It really was, and I hope Billy Basso or whatever his name is. Hey! Georgiana Broadus, welcome to the Butterscotch... Or no, actually, thank you for the 150, thank you. But I hope Billy Basso, who made, or whatever his name is, who made Animal Well, I hope he's working on something else, because he is a freaking genius. Like, I think he's actually a genius, like, genuinely. Scarlet and Violet are by far the worst Pokemon games ever made, and it's all the fault of the Breath of the Wild open world hype. I know, dude. Like, Breath of the Wild is fun, but in the grand scheme of, like, open world stuff, it's not like it was, like, that extraordinarily fantastic, you know? Especially, there's just, like, so many, like, Western games that have done it before Nintendo, and then Nintendo does like one thing sort of slightly correct, and then they divert all lasers over to open world bullshit. Doesn't mean they couldn't have done it right, it just feels so empty. Pokemon's also going out of its way to not overbloat their roster. I guess, yeah. What do I think of Pokemon Go? Pokemon Go, I played for like a week, the world was peaceful, and then it just like, it didn't have a proper battling system. So it's just kind of boring. Did I play Stray? I played a little bit of Stray. I got kind of bored and I stopped, sadly. It's cool, though. Barely any new ones with each game and not having everyone appear in every generation. Yeah. Lindsay Tompkins, welcome. Thank you for the 5 gifters to Carl's Mustard, Ant Williams, The Burger, Cashel Lawrence, and The Truth or Die. Welcome, friends. You're still stuck halfway through Animal Well. You should finish it. It's just satisfying, you know? Like, every time you finally solve a puzzle, you're just like, what the fuck? That was so sick. Character design is alive and well, but Pokemon has fallen into a safe space with rampant cutesy vibes. Hit up any of the major OC designers in the furry community and they'd have a cute and monstrous... Yeah. I know, right? Like, if you think about the art style of, like, the first 2 games, there was just something about it that was... gritty. I don't even want to say gritty, but yeah, the cutesy shit, especially once they added fairy types. I know fairy type was to like counter dragons or something like that, but it's just whatever. It's fucking gay, man. I stopped Pokemon Go because my containers was too full of chattel. What's chattel? Like when you grind down a Pokemon into dust. Somehow he knew exactly where we were going next, and that kind of unsettled the crap out of me. Meanwhile, the kids were unsettled because their actual grandpa, my father-in-law, had passed away a couple of months before our vacation. So this weird guy calling himself Grandpa, it kind of confused and scared my kids, both of whom were only 4 and 6 at the time. I slammed the door shut on the guy and began trying to get cell reception to call the cops. All the while I kept my eye on this grandpa when suddenly 2 things happened at once. 1, I actually got reception and my call started to go through the 911. 2, Grandpa pulled some kind of box cutter and began slashing at the back seats, freaking out and screaming. The car was mostly soundproof, but I could hear that he was just yelling gibberish, and for some reason slicing up the seats of my car. I got through to the operator and then the cops, and I was trying to explain what had happened, all while panicking because now this guy had some knife. Now, I remotely locked the car by this point, but it wouldn't be too hard for him to figure out how to let himself out. And so immediately I'm telling dispatch that the guy has a knife and that she asked if there's anyone safe anywhere safe. Pokechum. Both Pokemon Legends and Pokemon Let's Go are okay. Let's Go is the best 3D Pokemon visually. Okay, that's cool. Is there anything else, like, besides, Pal World or whatever that's, like, copied Pokemon in the past, maybe, like, 5 years that's, like, pretty good? You ever considered to narrate some stories with some Romanian love? We got time. Oh, like from, Romania. I feel like I did read a Romanian story at some point. I think it's always like low-key about like Civil War or something. That Pokopia sounded like it did well making Animal Crossing Yeah, and right, it's once again falling into like the whole cutesy thing, which I mean, like, people like cutesy. I just am not a huge cutesy fan. Or like blowing shit up and making little fucking hyper beams with my mouth. I think I have the best voice. Thank you. God bless you. So immediately I'm telling dispatch that this guy has a knife, and she asks if there's anywhere safe my family can go and lock ourselves in while we wait for the cops to arrive. I remember that there's a restroom in the picnic area, so we all head there. Now, the wife takes our 2 kids and locks them in one stall, while I lock myself in the next one. We're in the women's restroom, and I'm praying that some poor girl doesn't come in and hear me frantically talking to the cops from some locked stall. Thankfully, I hadn't seen anyone else around in the area. I stayed on the phone with dispatch for what felt like a half hour, and eventually an officer came into the restroom and called out that we were safe to exit, but to prepare ourselves. And when I got outside, it was chaos. Our luggage had just been thrown around the entire area. The car had gouges from the box cutter all over it, and as I ran towards the vehicle, an officer tried to stop me, but it was too late. I could smell the smell. Grandpa had defecated on the back seat of the car, a lot, and it absolutely reeked in the summer heat. Now, we were driven to the nearest station. When we arrived, we were informed of the good news. They picked up this grandpa character walking down the highway, and for some reason he was naked from the waist down and completely unable to explain who he was. Digimon games are okay. Digimon story games are JRPG monster collection like Pokemon, but it looks and feels different from Pokemon. Okay. Is it still fun? What's up, Beth? You live for cutesy? That's fair. Cutesy is pretty cute. Yeah, cutesy and creepy, like, you can have both for sure, but there was something just so powerful to me about just the story, you know what I mean? Like the story of Mew and Mewtwo and like the genetic testing with like Team Rocket and all that kind of stuff. And then you had, the death of Cubone's mother, the Marowak or whatever, and all that kind of stuff in like Lavender Town. And I don't know, there was just a lot of like mature elements to it while still being like accessible to like kids and fun, I'm not saying the other ones don't have some degree of that, but definitely it's, who knows, maybe it's because I'm fucking 30 goddamn 6. That might have something to do with it. Slightly. Why don't they make that game for 40-year-old men like me? Go watch Digimon Tamers. I can check that out. I'm literally grandpa maxing right now. They picked up this grandpa character walking down the freeway, and for some reason he was naked from the waist down and completely unable to explain who he was or why he'd done what he'd done, other than that he was grandpa. And as you can probably guess, it turned out to be drugs, and as far as I know, he's still in a court-mandated rehab program. Now, thankfully, I didn't have to get involved any further. We gave our statements, and that was kind of that. A cop very kindly offered to speak to his cousin, who ran a car rental firm, to make sure that we could continue our road trip vacation. Now, while it was a very generous offer, I think we were all just too unsettled, scared, and exhausted to take him up on it, and so instead we recovered the few belongings we were sure that Grandpa hadn't soiled on and took the Greyhound bus home. And so yeah, that was my fun little road trip story. It kind of keeps me up at night thinking about how much worse things could have been with my kids around, but maybe writing to you all will exorcise that demon. Screw drug abuse, though, and screw road trips. I just wish that I knew how this lunatic had managed to get into our remotely locked, fairly modern vehicle without any kind of damage to the doors or anything. Now, I think not knowing that drives me more mad than anything else, except worrying about what could have happened to my kids. Hopefully this grandpa guy is getting the help he clearly and desperately needs. In Romania, they went crazy with this Pokemon game. Some got hit by cars hunting oh yeah. That's awesome. Only true Pokemon goers have been hit by a vehicle or stepped on a landmine in Vietnam. Hey, Joy started a channel and started uploading scary stories. That's cool. Are they good? Should we go listen to it? 3 places scary to work. Okay, let's listen. Impromptu. Oh, upcoming. Nice. Ooh.
There are 2 rules when working the night shift at a phone company. First, never answer calls that come from disconnected numbers. Second, if you accidentally do, don't listen to the entire message. I didn't believe either rule. At least not until my 3rd week.
Nice, I like it. It kind of reminds me of like old school creepypasta vibe. You know what I mean? Like going all the way back to like 2010 era. But yeah, no, I like it. That's good. It's at least, I mean, I was like worried because some people talk about starting a channel and then it's like AI. Am I a grandpa? I'm more of like uncle grandpa, honestly. Whenever I hang out with my friends' kids and stuff, like I'm like that perfect mixture between a grandpa that gives them whatever they want and then an uncle that's funny and can throw them 50 feet in the air. Perler Bear, welcome to the Buttersuck Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you. Number 15. I'm a grunkle. Okay. Where we at? Oh yeah, that one. Okay. Sometimes the bathroom door down here, my cat will just like go in there and I'll hear the door just slowly open like... Okay. I see him all over the internet. Those stupid YouTube... Oh. I see it all over the internet. Those stupid YouTube thumbnails of Dog Man, which definitely isn't just a werewolf given a name so he becomes some creepypasta. All those stories on the Chans and the Reddits and the pastas, you know the ones. Probably one of the most overused cryptids in my opinion because he's only supposedly to be found in Michigan, although people apparently see him all over and apparently people love him. Now I wonder how they'd feel if they knew that there is a Dog Man out there, or at least there was, and he's no cryptid. He called himself Dog Man, and he's very human, and he's more dangerous than any made-up creepypasta monster you could think of because he's real, and I know it because I've met him. It was about 7 years ago now. Yeah, because it was the year before. Okay, yeah, I get it. I always try to like not include people mentioning the pandemic shit because sometimes I still don't know if YouTube like deal, you know what I mean? You get in trouble if you say stupid shit. B. Hurst, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Buttered bonus. A buttery bonus. I just started. I have one video right now, but the other video will be out tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, I wish the premiere feature was like... I wish anybody on YouTube is listening, there's not a lot of people in here, but you can imagine if a YouTube person that runs things was listening, hear me out. There is a thing called Premiere that you use, but when people click on it, it goes to the video in like a weird live fashion where people can talk and stuff. And it's pretty well known that whenever you do the Premiere thing, for whatever reason, your viewership is like not as good because people click on it, it starts live in the middle of a video, everyone's like, you know, baby brain iPad bullshit head makes them want to like click off immediately and then just not come back. So that being said, I love the feature with Premiere where it shows you what video is coming out next and when. I just suggest get rid of the fucking, like just make it like normal stuff. Get rid of the weird live chat function that they have with it and just have it as like a way to promote that this video that is scheduled, you know, and you could just change it in every video. Like whenever you schedule a video, have some like little checkbox that says like have the preview thumbnail available to people to know when it comes out. And I think that would really generate excitement before stuff. Clayton Benjamin, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. Welcome, then thank you, and you now have access to bonus content. Thank you. Joel, how would you diagnose us? You are my schizophrenic voices. And Sarah with the 5 says, there's a channel called Dark Whispers, and they've been copying your content. I repeatedly reported it, just so you know. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it, honestly. Like, do I do anything about it? Dark Whispers. Dark Whisper Stories? No, that's somebody else. It's like an Indian channel, I guess, or some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate you guys reporting them, I suppose, but who uses Premiere to post a YouTube video? I mean, not many people because it's so worthless. Like, it doesn't help, you know? My cat is following me around and I owe him $20. He's gonna cut your Achilles tendons like Zorro. Did you figure out what snacks you have when your friends bring their kids? Well, I just planned for the day of. If they're bringing the kids over, like, I'll just get some snacks for them or tell them to bring some, because I ain't got shit in my house. They can have some old fucking pistachios and protein powder. It was about 7 years ago, and me and the bestie decided to set off on an extended spring-summer road trip from Michigan to Flagstaff, Arizona. We were off to visit our other high school bestie who'd just graduated college in Arizona and moved into her own place. Her boyfriend was on deployment, so she was going to be staying in the new place alone. Now cue our selfless act of going to stay with her on vacation. On the way, one of our overnight stops was a motel in Woodward, Oklahoma. Now, sorry for all the place names and all of that, but they're relevant to the Dogman legend, I promise you. And it was a particularly hot month, so we were out sunbathing by the pool until pretty late into the evening. And then there had been a group of kids playing in the pool itself, and they must have ranged from around 8 years old to 12, and maybe made up of a few different groups of travelers who'd stopped at the motel. And one of them, we found out later, was the son of the motel owners. The kids were mostly ignoring us, playing with the pool noodles and toys, talking about whatever kids that age talked about back in 2019. Now, not quite the skibbity toilet or 6-7 years yet there, but occasionally thought that you could tell that a couple of the older kids were eavesdropping on our conversations, particularly when we talked about our plans of taking a walk into the woods just outside the motel. It seemed like a safe area, but we felt like a late-night stroll, and do I have lettuce disease? Thankfully, no. But the one that was creepy, like to hear like What the heck was it called? It was called like Taylor Farms. Do you guys know? Whoa, 1 second. They're bribing me to keep quiet. Ooh, yeah. Holy shit, I haven't twerked in so long, bro. Roki, thank you so much. Give those kids some sugar. Make their parents regret bringing them. Oh, that sounds terrible. But, yeah, dude, they get so much fucking candy. It's actually insane. It's so funny because one of my buddies, like, oldest, like, she tries to eat really healthy, but then just, like, fucking loves candy and, like, is, like, a fiend over it, you know, like, will literally, like, beat the shit out of her sister to, like, not... so that she doesn't have to share any candy. It's just hilarious. But Roki, thank you so much for the 50. God bless you, friend. Good to see you again. But yeah, it was Taylor Farms. Like, some people have speculated that not saying this is true for legal purposes, this is entertainment only. It's made up. This isn't even a real thing. Well, that's the thing. They said Taylor Farms was a false positive, but people were saying that there was, like, direct communication between the Taylor Farms people and then the FDA, and it was almost like they went in and, like, then retracted that statement. So, which, you know, if it was a false positive, sure, because obviously if it's going to hurt you, but it also kind of does make you wonder, like, could it be somewhere in the realm of possibility that Taylor Farms, that does their processing over in Mexico, had fucked up with their irrigation water that was filled with, like, stagnant shit or something, and, you know, all they had to do was pay off, like, the FDA to get out of their bullshit, and then the next day the White House and all of them are like, never mind, they're fine, just keep eating Taco Bell. Bugs and bacteria in my lettuce, so I had to grow and massage my own kale. There you go. Just put some ivermectin on your Taco Bell, like some salsa. That's true. Just sprinkle it on there. It's because they cut funding to the FDA. Less monitoring causes more food issues. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's the farm irrigation water can be anywhere. Yeah. I mean, wasn't it over? Weren't they doing this processing primarily over in Mexico, though? I don't know. Anyways, the world's gonna end. Move to Argentina. Okay. It seemed like a safe area, and we both felt like a late-night stroll. We've been fairly into camping in our college days, so a quick walk through the undergrowth with flashlights as the midnight hour dawned seemed suitably fun. Now, one of the kids, the motel owner's son, as I found out later and said previously, swam over to the edge of the pool and kind of lurked there for a bit. I could tell he wanted to say something to us, but was just too shy or nervous or hormonal to speak to a couple of sunbathing women. Now, eventually I took pity on him and asked him if he was having a good summer or something like that. Now, the kid perked up at... I don't have the cyclospora thing, but I definitely have something that I'm suffering. Shit. What's the longest road trip you've been on? I remember driving from like Pennsylvania down to like South Carolina, and that was a long ass fucking trip. But it was wild to think like all you had to do was drive like half a day, and you're just like in a completely different world, you know, to go from Pennsylvania's like 30-degree winter, you know, sub 30-degree winter, to literally the most comfortable day ever, the most beautiful day you've ever had in your entire life down in South Carolina in the middle of March. What's wrong with your calves? They hurt? Could you have like a deep vein thrombosis from like being stagnant or anything like that? Are they getting red? Do they have any pitting, edema, or anything like that? Honestly, if you have any sort of clotting issues or whatever, and your calves are just like randomly hurting and you weren't like hiking and shit, or walking all day or whatever, or running, I feel like that's something of like mild concern. You've walked. Okay, maybe you did a long-ass walk and you just haven't used those muscles in a bit. Drove from LA to New York. It was a mission. Holy shit, how was that? Are your calves being attacked by wolves because of a hole in your fence? That's probably it. The kid perked up at the attention and kind of mumbled that, yeah, he was having a good time. And then he just blurted it out. We shouldn't stay out after the sun had gone down, and we shouldn't go walking in the woods after dark. The sun was already beginning to set, so I asked him why. And over at the other side of the pool, I could see the other kids whispering to each other. They weren't giggling or acting like this was some kind of prank, though. They seemed genuinely serious as they spoke to each other. I asked the kid talking to us why we should be so careful. Was it a rough area? Were there wild animals in the woods, etc.? And the boy looked at me with absolute dead seriousness and said that Dogman was out there. Now, I kind of started laughing a lot about this and then realized that he was looking genuinely hurt and serious. And I told him that Dogman wasn't real. And even if he was, he supposedly lived in Michigan, where we were from. Now, he replied by saying that Dogman is definitely real, and I could ask his parents, who ran the motel, if I didn't believe him. Obviously, I wasn't going to start asking the motel owners about creepy pastas. I'd look like a total weirdo. And instead, I asked the kid if there were any other dangers in the woods or if it was just this Dogman. Now, he said it was just Dogman, and this Dogman kept everything else away. Now, I tried to reassure this kid by telling him that because we were from Michigan, Dogman's home state, we knew how to handle him and he wouldn't hurt us. And the kid looked very skeptical about this, but eventually just shrugged and swam back to his friends. Now, cue a few hours later. It had gotten cold, so we had gone outside, showered, and then changed into some light hiking gear. Both of us kept joking about running into Dogman and about whether there was a werewolf prowling the area. We were maybe 2 weeks away from a full moon, so we figured things were pretty safe, if, werewolves had been even real. Now, we knew there was a picnic spot in the woods for motel guests, so we decided to follow the trail leading there, and then use that as a base of sorts to head into the deeper woods. As we followed the trail, I noticed a sign lit up by the beam of my flashlight, and it read something like, "Picnic area ahead," but then there was a bunch of smaller text underneath. I got closer to read it, and it said something about how the motel owners strongly advised guests to stay on the trail and only use the area during daylight hours. It said that they weren't responsible for any guests who explored the woods after dark, and that the land beyond the picnic area was public land and not maintained by the hotel owners. And so the kid had been right, at least, that his parents advised people not to explore the woods after dark. That was verily like... Can I pet that dog, man? Can I pet that dog, man? I knew this dude Tony that was called Wolfman. He had some genetic thing where he literally looked like the werewolf from the old horror movies. He was so much body hair. That's cool. That's me. Whole face is covered. They should make a Dogman movie. I guess they are. It's called Wolf. Wolf. Please stay on the trail. There are too many werewolves. Too many wolves. How have your questionable soups... Oh, you guys are talking to each other, huh? But it could be the wolves. My brother's dog is a wolfhound, German Shepherd. Does that count? No. Oh, man. What year is it? Does anyone know what year it is? What do I think about Jimothy? Oh yeah, the raccoon. That's like got a fucked up back and shit. It's fucking cool. It kind of reminds... Wasn't there a dog that was just like Jimothy? Is that dog still alive? Hey, Roki, thank you for the 20. Donation or membership gift. I haven't been here in a while, so I'm going to make it big. Roki, thank you so much. But make it a membership gift, because next week is bonus content, and I want as many people as possible to hear these cool stories. But either way, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Hey Joel, do you listen or watch other YouTubers? If so, who are your top 3? Top 3 include EDP445. Sorry, that's a bad one. Just joking. Top 3. Fuck. Honestly, like, whenever I watch, like, YouTube shit, I feel like it's just, like, whatever the fuck pops up. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't really have, like, a specific devotion to anyone, if that makes sense. But if there's someone that you like and want to mention, just, it's Mr. Beast. You know, I've watched some Mr. Beast videos, but it's more just almost like, I don't know, I guess like as a comedic thing to do with friends. Like, we're going to watch a Mr. Beast video. It's like, today, we're blowing up everyone's fucking testicles with grenades. Holy shit, dude. Roki with the 50 gifters. Holy hell. I think that's literally $250 spent on that. So, Roki, God bless you, friend. You are amazing. Hello, Joel. How are you? I'm good right now. I've just been gifted 50 memberships, and you guys are good too. Roki. What are you smoking? Thank you, friend. Mr. Beast was legit wholesome, like, I don't know how many years ago. There was a period of time where, like, Mr. Beast didn't have, like, it was, like, genuinely very difficult for people to, like, hate on him, and then things changed. Hey, Joe, I know you're a PC guy, but would you buy an Xbox or PS5? I have a PS5. I had an Xbox One whenever, what the fuck's it called? Halo 5 came out, but, like, I played Halo 5. It was kind of mid, and then I gave it to my friends' kids. I, like, more recently bought a PS5 just to play Astro Bot, as bad as that sounds. And then I didn't really make it very far because I kind of felt like Astro Bot was sort of... It's really good, but as far as, like, platforming games goes, it's kind of just feels like you're playing, like, a demo disc for the PS5. Everything just feels very, like, you can't make any mistakes, you know what I mean? But oh shit, and another 10, Roki. Roki is going ham. Roki was on the road, and Roki is home, baby. Welcome home. Thank you, Roki. Joel, my birthday is the 25th. All I want is for you to give my husband, Zachary, and I, Joshua, Coffee, a shout out. Shout out, Josh and Zachary. What are you guys going to do? Did Halo 5 come out in 2015? I don't know when the fuck it was. It was a long-ass time ago, but it was kind of just, like, disappointing. You haven't had an Xbox One in forever, Joel. Yeah, I guess that would have been a long-ass time ago. I mean, I just haven't had an Xbox in general, I guess, for a while. Something should be lurking in the water in your skeleton's pool. Oh, that would have been brilliant. Like, just swimming underneath it, you see a big shadow kind of, like, go underneath. But thank you again, Roki. Guys, be sure, if you get gifted, be sure to thank Roki for that. It's very kind. Now you will get to binge all the delicious bonus content. I am actually Roki. We are twin spirits. Or two spirit. What is it? Two spirit? If your name is not green, you are a member. True. And yeah, it's just random. That was very likely an insurance/safety thing, though. Heck, maybe they told their kid about a dog man to keep him from getting into danger himself. That probably was the case. And we reached the picnic area, which seemed like it would have been nice in the daytime, making a note of which compass direction we were heading in and pushing forward into the woods in the direction that seemed the most accessible. Now, we've been walking for about 20 minutes, taking in the nature, mostly the occasional owl or other identified. We'd been walking around 20 minutes, taking in the nature, mostly the occasional owl or other unidentified birds, and it wasn't exactly a pretty forest, at least in the night, and the motel owners had certainly been right in that it wasn't well maintained. My friend kept worrying about twisting her ankle or cutting her leg on the tree branches, so we were discussing about heading back. And that's when we saw movement all around us. An animal. Well, multiple animals running noisily through the forest in the dark, making no effort to disguise their presence. And then we heard a bark, and both looked at each other, clearly thinking the same thing. More barking followed, and from what I could gather and make out, there were 3 dogs running around in the forest just a ways from us. They didn't seem interested in us, but they were certainly interested in something, barking and growling and exercising. Mischievous frog. I can say with 99% certainty that using an ad blocker on PC will prevent you from getting a membership at random. I should have statistically gotten like 3 so far. Oh, you know, that actually would be funny if YouTube punishes them for that. I think the term we're looking for a second ago was twin flames. I don't know. Two spirits sounds more fun. I don't know if you were given this advice before, but this past year has been extremely rough. Any advice for getting back into working out after being out of the game for a long while? You know, just take it slow. Get it, like, just be in the gym maybe initially and do some, like, light cardio, right? Like bike or Stairmaster, like walking at an incline, and just sort of exist there for like a week or something doing your cardio, and then, you know, do like a program, like a light program that can, you know, ChatGPT is really good for like writing programs out or whatever, and then just have it sort of ease you back into it over the course. And really at the end of the day, when it comes to working out, it's not about like kicking it out of the park, you know, this is a kickball analogy, you know, right out the gate. Like sometimes you just need to get into the motions, finish your workout, and just be on with your day. And that's A-okay, totally fine. Roki, thank you for another 5. So what the fuck is my cat doing? He's scratching the shit out of the bottom of the... Thank you again, Roki. I can't remember where it is, but there is some setting where you have to select to allow membership gifting. Yeah, I think it's like your Google account or something. Oh, fuck. Sorry, why am I tired out of nowhere? Work out progressively and be motivated, or at least persistent. Haven't exercised in like half a decade and doing a ton now, just have to be persistent. Yeah, the consistency is what's going to make the biggest difference, and just, even if it's like, not, you know, you don't have to kill yourself with it, you just have to like slowly make genuine relative progress, you know, and that's the thing, you do it a little bit. Oh my god, do you hear him? Jesus Christ, what is he even scratching at? I think he's gone nuts. It's cat scratch fever. Whatever, get another cat. I thought about it. It might be good for him, but I also am afraid that they would get territorial, because the one time I had another cat, they were territorial, and then the other one would piss on my roommate's stuff, and then eventually pissed on a big pile of my clothes and just fucking ruined them forever. You go to the channel, press join, then the 3 dots, and make sure to toggle it for receiving gifts. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Misty. Mr. Misty. When I got back into working out, I would walk for 20 minutes, do some butterflies and some preacher curls. In and out in like 40 minutes, but I would keep a journal of my weight. But yeah. Cats are pretty funny. I've never heard him scratch that fucking hard. It seems like he's literally looking for gold. Sorry, I can't afford paying each YouTuber for content. Wait, he's saying... Sorry, I can't afford paying each YouTuber for content. I'm confused who you're talking. Are you talking to me, or I mean, if you can't afford stuff, I'm not shaming anybody for that. I don't care what you do with your money. I literally don't need it, you know. I'm just happy you guys are here. I tend to jump in hardcore and then feel too overwhelmed to do it again. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you just got to learn, you know, probably that's why I'm saying, like, oh, you're talking to Emily. Oh, okay, no worries, sorry. That's why I'm saying just go into ChatGPT and ask it to, like, give you some programming to help, you know, just get you in the motions. Because once you're in the motions, it's like those days where you only get like 5 hours of sleep and you're like, oh, fuck. But then once you get your day going, you're like, okay, I'm awake, I'm moving, we're grooving. Throw a coin to your let's read. Okay. They didn't seem interested in us, but they were certainly interested in something, barking and growling in general. It was hard to tell, and I didn't want to draw too much attention to us, but I did use the flashlight to try and spot the animals, since they would have clearly been able to smell us and attack if they were going to. From what I could tell, they were Rottweiler-type dogs, a couple black and tan ones, and then another that looked to be mostly tan. Now, the main point is, they were all very big dogs. One of them was smaller than the others, which is how I could tell the two black and tan dogs apart, so I took that one for a growing pup. Now, I've been so focused on the dogs that I didn't hear the rustling through the undergrowth or the sounds of footsteps until they were almost on us. And then, a huge man with a filthy coat and an almost glowing white beard burst out of the trees. His face was a mask of fury, at least what I could see of it behind the beard, and without shining the flashlight straight into his face, oh, god damn it. Roki! Thank you for the 10. Still matching. I can do that. How many are we matching today, Roki? That was 50, 60, 65? Is that right? Did we get any other ones earlier? I can match that. Well, thank you, friend. Two of them are partially blind, but this one is... Oh, sorry, I can never tell who's talking to who. It was hot today. Dude, today was weird around here. It was actually kind of like comfortable. It was like 75 degrees, almost like kind of chilly at times. Like it felt like fall. I'm like, all right, I guess summer was really hot and now we're done. Wish vitamin D deficiency was my answer to fatigue. It's not. Maybe you just need some creatine. Emily, what if you started taking 10 grams of creatine a day? What would happen? What if you just like suddenly found a amazing burst of mitochondrial energy? Do I go live on Saturn Soul? I've not, no. Never tried it. I don't even know if I should, honestly. I'll be killed. Killed by the Saturn aliens. How is Saturn Soul doing? Sometimes I just check in on it to make sure everything's okay. Uncovering the horrors of Project MK Ultra. Well, that's not terrible. 7-Eleven had pumpkin Reese's peanut butter cups out. That means fall is here. Dude, what the fuck, man? How are they putting shit out so fast? It's July. It's July. What can I ask my AI? I guess, like, how to jork. How to jelk. His face was a mask of fury, at least what I could see of it behind the beard and without shining the flashlight straight into his face. He was holding a huge walking cane, about as tall as he was, with a bulbous wooden knot at the top, which looked like it could do some serious damage. And when the guy spoke, he had an accent that didn't quite sound American and also spoke like he wasn't used to talking much, almost like his vocal cords didn't get much of a workout often. The guy demanded to know what we were doing in his woods, especially two young women, and why we were so comfortable being in danger. I started to splutter some kind of response, which he completely ignored and whistled for the dogs to come to him. The 3 dogs, confirming my theory of how many there were, came bounding through the undergrowth and settled at their master's side. The biggest one was kind of foaming and drooling at the mouth as if he'd been on the verge of a catch or a kill, and they sat there obediently, but I could tell that they were wired with energy and desperate to be set free by their owner again. Now I started to speak again, but one of the dogs growled, almost warning me, and so I quickly fell silent. The old man started croaking at us that we were effing stupid B-words for walking in the woods at night because wasn't it obvious that something terrible was going to happen to us? And he didn't have time to protect everyone. And besides, his dogs were animals after all. They might mistake us for something else, and then there'd be nothing he could do. Now I started shaking at this as I saw all 3 dogs staring at me. Maybe I was imagining it, but it looked like they were staring hungrily now, staring at me specifically too, and not my friend. And then, the old man told us that we needed to leave the way we came immediately, and that he was releasing his dogs to go back to their patrol. If they mistook us for something else, then that was on us. We were my gosh. You know what, you'll fluff off, but no, I'm good on everything. It's likely just POTS and hypermobility. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Maybe creatine helps with... We're gonna look into it. I'm sick of fucking telling people stuff to do and then they say they're not gonna do it. That's happened to me my whole life. You make a suggestion to someone and they're like, no, I'd rather just fucking bitch about it. Hold on a second. Does creatine help? Why isn't it ovarian? POTS. Potentially, yes. Was it postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome? Is that what you have? Adderall is possibly treatment for narcolepsy. It also raises blood pressure, which can offset some POTS issues. No joke. Alright, here's why researchers think creatine might help. Increases intracellular water. Creatine draws water into muscle cells. Since many people with POTS have reduced blood volume, hypovolemia, improving hydration status may indirectly support circulation, though creatine doesn't directly increase plasma volume as much as increased salt and fluid intake do. Improves muscle function. POTS is often associated with exercise intolerance and fatigue. Creatine can improve the muscle's ability to rapidly produce energy, ATP, potentially reducing muscle fatigue during activity. May improve exercising. Training exercise is one of the most effective long-term treatments for POTS. Creatine could help people tolerate resistance training better, allowing them to build leg muscle, which then helps them pump blood back to the heart. Think about it. Think about it. Just think about it, SpongeBob. I live in Canada and 30 degrees Celsius is too much. It's the perfect amount for a forest fire. Okay, so it seems that there's some potential benefits to POTS, but what about PCOS? What about creatine for PCOS? Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Creatine is more promising for polycystic ovarian syndrome, right? That's what it is. But for a different reason. It doesn't appear to directly treat hormonal abnormalities of PCOS. Instead, it may help address some of the metabolic and fitness challenges that commonly accompany the condition, and improve strength and muscle mass. Women with PCOS often benefit from resistance training because increasing lean muscle improves insulin sensitivity. Creatine is one of the best studied supplements for enhancing strength training performance and muscle gains. Possible improvement in insulin sensitivity. Some research suggests creatine may modestly improve glucose handling when combined with exercise, though studies specifically in women with PCOS are limited and results are mixed. May help with fatigue. If PCOS symptoms are often associated, insulin resistance leaves someone feeling fatigued. The improved exercise capacity from creatine may make it easier. Oh, okay, so it's just like a supplement if you are doing resistance training. Salt does help POTS too, though, by the way. Yeah, I think pulling in, because salt, like sodium, attaches to like H2O molecules. Would you prefer to live somewhere where it gets to 1 degree in winter and 110 during the summer? No. Joel told me to start an OnlyFans and he was right. Now I lost the respect of all my friends, family, and peers. Thanks. You're welcome. You know what's a great exercise? Looking for fossils all day. Is that what you're doing? Are you Dr. Grant? Adderall is for adults too, not just kids. ADHD doesn't magically go away at age 18. Yes, it does. You just gotta go oof poof alakazam. Now my ADHD is a glamorous. Chug 2 energy drinks. The gym parking lot. Feel like you worked out. Hell yeah. Hey, what's up, Liz? Where the hell have you been? Alright, I gotta lock the fuck in, guys. Can we all lock in a little bit, please? We were already turning to run before we heard the man tell his boys that they were free to go play. And thinking back, I'm not sure if running was actually a good idea. It might have given the dogs more of a reason to follow us. In fact, the youngest one did start chasing after us for a little bit, and to this day I don't know if he meant to do us harm or was just thinking we were playing. And when we reached the picnic area, the dog just stopped. Like he knew that he wasn't allowed to cross the boundary into the motel's land. And we didn't stop running though, and it's a miracle neither of us had injured ourselves by the time we sprinted back to our room. And we barely even had the energy to discuss what had happened. We both collapsed into our single beds, half-dressed, and slept until morning. And the next day on checkout, a teenage girl was handling the desk, and we hadn't seen her before. It had been an older man when we checked in who said that he was the owner. And I could see the family resemblance, though, between the owner, this girl, and the kid who'd spoken to us at the pool. Now, I very sheepishly told her that we'd gone walking in the woods and encountered a guy with these very vicious dogs. Now, the girl's face went kind of white, at least how I remembered it, and then she composed herself again. She explained that everyone just called him Dogman, and he patrolled the forest every night with a constantly changing rotation of dogs. Nobody really knew how many dogs he had or where he lived and kept them, but she knew that he had at least 15. And she told me that her dad knew more about the guy, but would never talk about him, and that he'd just drummed it into his kids that they were to absolutely avoid Dogman at all costs and call the cops if he ever came into the motel property. And then she kind of glanced at a photo on the wall, so I went over to examine it. And it was an old army photo, looked to be from maybe the early 2000s, and it was a platoon led by a guy who I could clearly recognize as the motel owners, but quite a bit younger. But it was the guy on the far left who caught my attention. He was staring off into the distance, not looking at the camera like the rest of the unit, and in his hand he held some sort of harness attached to a military dog that sat beside him. AUHD is a thing. You know, I'm going to make up a new one. It's called POOP DHD. Guys, I have poop DHD. I have high definition shit in my eyes at all times. It's unavoidable, and I'm probably going to need some methamphetamines to get through this. I have hotism. I'm the kind of guy who just sits there in the Starbucks line looking hot as fuck, lips pursed, you know, Zoolander sort of blue steel appearance. And then when people are so afraid to talk to me, but then when they finally do get words out of me, they realize that I'm retarded. That's called hotism. And I love it. I love having it. Because as long as we never actually communicate, they still want to have sex with me. And in his hand he held a harness attached to a military dog that sat beside him. One of those dogs that sort of sniffed out minds, I figured. Now, the teenage girl remarked that it was a photo of her dad when he served in the army, just before he was honorably discharged and opened this place. She didn't comment on the man that I'd seen, the bearded soldier who bore more than a striking resemblance to Dogman. And the girl added one final thing. She told me that Dogman allegedly patrolled the forest every night with his army of dogs to prevent an unnatural occurrence. Everyone in the area knew he was unhinged, but they had no idea if or how he was dangerous. No local law enforcement wanted to go searching the deep woods for a man and his army of dogs, and honestly, I can't say that I blame them. And so next time you hear about the Dogman creepypasta, know that, yeah, there probably isn't some werewolf prowling Michigan, but somewhere in Oklahoma, there is a man that they call Dogman, and he's definitely someone to avoid. I like my unmedicated ADHD. Yeah, I mean, wow. I don't know. Did nobody in the past, why is everyone on meth? And is it awesome? And can I have some? Can I snort your medication? Just out of curiosity. Mine stopped pushing meds since I advocated for myself, thankfully. Just my antidepressant med and nothing else. Well, you know what? We should come up with a medication. Let's think of a problem that people have all day, every day. I fucking got it. We're too horny. All of us are too horny, and you need to take your rapist medication. If you guys even for a second feel remotely attracted to another person, you are one step away from rape, like raping them, and you've most likely raped them in your head. Therefore, I suggest, as head of Pfizer and its conglomerates, that you have to take a pill called honchulapine. And honchulapine, no boner April, will basically make it so you can't even get an erection. And you'll be happy about it. And you'll eat McDonald's and you'll have little weird tits. So, how do we feel about that, guys? I think, and I will also try my best to make it as addictive as possible so that when you come off of it, your brain just makes you feel strange. And it's impossible. And your whole family is pissed at you about something on Christmas. This is the only solution. We're going to be handing them out for free in Birmingham. I love morphine. It makes me so nice and normal. I'm so good at my job. Yes. That's what we'll start. That's what we'll do. We'll just give out morphine shots. Does the pill have red 40 in it? No, of course not. Are you insane? That's bad for you. I have an absolutely weird thing that happened to me a few years ago. So my brother and I live in different states, a day or so apart, and if we're going to hang out, then that means a road trip. That's fine by me. I love cruising the open road, top down, tunes blaring. I would have loved to have been around during that era of epic music. Oh well, I was born in 2002 and I'm 24 currently, if you want to feel old. And so the last rest stop that I pulled into, I bought one of those huge Slurpees, which was a big mistake. Now, it was starting to play havoc on my bladder as letters. This new medication I got, it's called Pepsi. New med on the market, honk-shulapine. Every kid has to take it when they turn 13. If you can't focus in school and you got a fucking boner when they ask you to come up and solve a problem, guess what? You gotta see a doctor. Looking forward to some giggles tonight. It's much needed. Rough couple of days. What the hell happened? We'll kill them. Anybody in this chat, I want you guys to know I will kill somebody for you. Just kidding. I'm kidding you too, please. No, no, no. I'd like some opinions on something I did tonight, and am I a bad boss? Yeah, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I'm imagining it's some sort of terrorist action, so yes, I guess. I literally am 5 million times more functional on heroin, but my dad didn't like the look of me nodding off on a movie night, so now I'm stalled and suicidal. Epicness. Damn. What about getting hopelessly addicted to endless romantic relationships with women with daddy issues? Doesn't that sound way more fun than drugs? It was starting to play havoc on my bladder a lot sooner than I expected, and I couldn't see a sign for another rest stop coming up soon. I contemplated pulling over and just letting her rip in nature, but it wasn't exactly a deserted road. No, instead I kept driving, holding it in like a champion. Eventually I saw a small rundown gas station on the side of the road with no real signage, and kind of wondered how they ever even got business. I pulled in, didn't even lower my roof, and just flung myself out the door and ran to the restroom, praying that it wasn't one of those old types where you needed to get the key from the owners. Thankfully it wasn't, and I double-checked that I was heading into the men's room. Now, these I'm paranoid about accidentally walking in on some chick and being labeled. These days, probably. These days? That's my type. Sadly, I have a dad, so I have to pretend. Every time I think about how pissed I am at him, I realize he's actually really cool. Dude, someone pooped on the floor in 2 different bathrooms at my work today. It's probably from Taylor Farms, Taco Bell. They all bark at me already. The bitches go crazy. I won't let them touch me, though. It feels terrible to walk the other way because they find out my burner contact never goes out. Oh, girls. Find out my burner contact never goes out. Is everyone addicted to drugs in the chat? What is going on? Is this just a chat room full of homeless people under the same bridge? And everybody's got like an Obama phone? Obama phone. He gonna get me right. He gonna get you right. Thankfully, it wasn't. I double-checked that I was heading into the men's room. These days, I'm paranoid about accidentally walking in on some chick and being labeled a predator. Now, thankfully I was, so I headed inside, just about peeing my pants. And all the stall doors were mysteriously closed, and I had the suspicion from the state of the place that they just simply locked the stalls up rather than fix or clean them. Now, why didn't I use a urinal, you ask? Well, there were 3, and every one of them was smashed in some way, and some big out-of-order signs covered the broken porcelain. Well, anyways, the final stall was open sort of ajar, and I figured that this had to be safe at least. I thought this was a girl. Why did I think at the beginning of the story this was a girl? Like, yeah, so we don't have any. So my brother and I live in different states. They're gonna head out to the manager's room. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. My biggest fan base comes from the ADHD and autistic community. everybody comes from the Honk Shulapine subreddit. By the sounds of it, if you were around for your kids, you probably failed being a deadbeat. Are you talking about me? I tried to be a deadbeat dad, I couldn't. It was just too much fun. How do I know it's a boy? I guess because he's pissing standing up. Anyway, the final stall was open sort of ajar, and I figured that this had to be safe at least, and I thought about leaning down to check under the stall for feet, but A, that would mean lying on some sticky floor covered in God knows what, and B, imagine if someone had caught me doing that. Now instead, I just coincidentally pushed the door open, certain that everything would be fine. It was not fine. There was a woman standing on the closed toilet, and she was, to put it mildly, extremely morbidly obese. I could see her body pressing against the stall walls, and I was honestly surprised that she'd managed to get into the stall, let alone climb up into the toilet. Now she had... Clutching daggers with the five says, would a true story about involuntary human experimentation that happened in Toronto in 2009 be interesting? Should I submit? It's truly horrifying. Yeah. What happened? Can you tell us about it now so we can talk about it first? Thank you for the 5. Yeah, let's read submissions at gmail.com. I poop flowers. Every girl's poop is comprised of lily pads and pills. Oh, can we just... Guys, let's make a pact. Let's make a pinky square pact. No more pills. We're done with them. We're moving into the new age where we just go based on straight vibes and vibrations. She had this sort of brown hair and no makeup, and she was wearing one of those moo-moo things. Moo-moo things? She was a cow? They were milking this lady? What the fuck is a moo-moo thing? Moo-moo boots. The moo-moo could refer to different things. Moo-moo foot? Moo-moo... I don't fucking know. There's a loose flowing Hawaiian dress? I don't fucking know. I own some moo-moo and Crocs. Moo-moo's milk. Whatever. She had some brown hair and no makeup, and she was wearing one of those moo-moo things for larger people. Now, confession, I used to be a complete fat ass myself, and I've only begun my gym journey recently, but I'm doing well, I think. And she was staring over my head like she was looking at herself in the bathroom mirror. I looked behind me and saw that the mirror was broken and barely there, so I'm not sure if she was even able to see herself. I called out to her. I couldn't think of what the hell to say to a woman standing on a toilet, so I just sort of said, "Excuse me, ma'am. This is the men's room. The women facilities are next door." And then she looked down at me like she'd noticed me for the first time. Her face was completely expressionless as she stared at me like she was looking straight through me. And despite the comical nature of this situation, there was something intensely creepy about this extremely large woman crammed into a toilet stall, standing on the toilet, looking down at me like she'd never seen a human being before. Now, I had absolutely no idea what to do. The way she was staring at me made me feel like some specimen, or potentially a victim. Should I try and help her? Did she even need help? Now, in the end, I decided to say screw it and put the stall door shut so I could just... It's moo-moo, as in moo-moo, not momo. Okay, perfect. Perfect, I knew it, because I used to wear one. Oh, fuck. Have you heard of the story El Gordito? I've heard of Diabito. In the end, I decided to say screw it and pull the stall door closed so I could just feel her. In the end, I decided to say screw it and pulled the stall door shut so I couldn't feel her eyes on me. And then, I'm ashamed to say, my own bladder situation was so bad that I allowed myself to pee in the sink. I kept one eye on the entrance, but if the creepy staring woman caught me, then that was her own fault for being a weird bathroom lurker. And I went into the gas station to tell the owners everything. Well, everything apart from the peeing in the sink aspect. The guy working the register was a bored-looking kid around my age, and I had to repeat myself 3 times before I realized that he had earbuds in. I waved in his face to get his attention, which seemed to annoy him. I told him about the woman in the bathroom and how it had all played out. He sighed and rolled his eyes and said that he was sick of us playing the same prank, so me and my buddies should just knock it off. I think Joel met a girl recently. Yeah, I caught one. I found her in one of my many bear traps. Joel's been engaged for a while and he's been lying because he's shy and private. Give him his privacy. Yeah, would you guys have some respect for my own personal life? Who knows? Maybe I've had kids for 10 years and you would never know about it. I tried to explain I wasn't even from the area and it wasn't a prank, and if he'd just go look, he could see for himself. He pointed out that this would leave the store completely unattended, and I told him I'd come with him. Now he countered with the fact that I could have accomplices. I told him to lock up, and in the end he got pretty angry and told me that he wasn't just going to do anything at all about this made-up nonsense. I glanced out the window, frustrated as hell, and then I saw the huge woman standing by my car, slipping a piece of paper under my windscreen. Have you ever seen Balto? Yeah, that's the one with the dog sled movie, right? Did I meet my future wife in chat? Yeah, it's you. It's you, Pats. You're here, sweetheart. Are you guys all going to my wedding? Do I get lots of groupies? Yeah, it's you guys. All grouped up. Perfect for a large bowling ball to be thrown through. AKA a car. It's a Latunks. She went from Latinks to Latunks real quick. Once I started making my gorditas. Do you want me to trim your lawn? I've been very good with the nifty scissors. I wonder how long it would take to actually cut a lawn with scissors. I wonder if it would start growing by the time you actually got it done. I glanced out the window, frustrated as hell, and then I saw the huge woman standing by my car, slipping a piece of paper under my wiper. And I started yelling to the cashier that there she was, if he'd just look. And the idiot absolutely flat out refused. He wasn't falling for my crap, quote unquote, and I begged and pleaded, and eventually he did look. And you know what? By the time this lazy-ass cashier took a look, the woman had squeezed herself into her own comically tiny smart car and zoomed off. I told the cashier that I would take my business elsewhere, with a lot more profanity, and went outside to see what the creepy woman had left on my windshield. Now, it was a note that just read, "Carl will be over at 6," in this very barely legible writing. And the next day, I made it to my brother's. I told him everything that had happened, and he was especially creeped out because the woman sounded word for word like the assistant that we had at kindergarten who'd just been a little slow and who just kind of sat in the corner looking at the kids. Except this would have been maybe 20 years ago, and he was sure that from the description that she sounded the same age. Now, the really creepy part, when at 6 p.m. on the dot, the doorbell rang. The brother answered it, and it was one of his buddies, Kyle. Not quite Carl, but close enough, and he'd only dropped a... Did any of these stories get... Like, is there anything scary going on? I don't even know what the fuck. We've been slow, brother. Okay, yeah. Listening to videos all day at work today, and now I'm going to bed listening and made the next video I'll listen to at work. Thank you. Am I a Scientologist? Kind of. Like, Scientologist-ish. Scientologist-ish. You ever see The Rescuers Down Under? Yeah, those movies were goated. How do you feel about Clearwater, Florida? I think I've passed through there at some point. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I just feel like these stories feel like they're... I don't know. They feel almost like... There's been some scary... Is there any scary stuff? What have we got? We had this one. It just seems... I mean, I guess, like, they're definitely very... I guess they're just weird. They just feel weird. Which is fine. Weird stories can be scary to the individual experiencing it for sure. Do I not pre-screen the stories? I mean, I have editors go through, and it is tough to find stories that all kind of like fit a particular thing, but I just feel like they aren't like this outright like threat, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like everything has to have like some crazy threat, but honestly most stories don't have that. But I don't know. You said it was AI slop. Well, that's mean of you to say. You watched Obsession, it was mid. You only just saw it, Justin. Yeah, it honestly is, like, it's fine. It's one of those movies that's, like, fine, but, like, I'm not, like, I don't know. And I'm not really stoked about many movies, but I'm not, like, so I can't wait to see Obsession again, you know what I mean? I watched it twice in theaters, mainly just to, like, figure out what all the hubbub is, if I missed anything the second time, to interpret the way some people were interpreting it. But... please don't give away 70% of your income to strangers under the guise of becoming clear and not getting eaten by Zulu. Is Zulu the god that lives in the volcano? I remember there's like the one guy of like related to like not alternative medicine, but you know what I mean, like more natural medicine approach. What the fuck's his name? Dr. Berg. You probably have seen like Dr. Berg's videos if you ever looked up anything related to like keto fasting and all that kind of shit. I just remember like he has like a son, right? And then his son came out and like was just like so mad at him and said that, you know, Dr. Berg is a Scientologist and that most of the money that he gets from that stuff goes to the church or whatever, Scientology. Tyler Butler, welcome to the Buttersall Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Zulu is dangerously close to the Ouija board demon. Oh, that's right, yeah. He's not a real doctor. He is not a real doctor. I just, like, when I'm looking for, like, alternatives to stuff that's, like, not fucking pharmaceutical doctor visits, you know, I'm like, well, what's this guy, you know, what's this say over here? And sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I just need to squeeze it out of me. Seeing Gundam Hathaway Flash Witch of what? I think it's Zulu or Zuru. Got 2 stories, one in person, one was online. Dr. Atkins died of like a heart attack. That's funny. Hey Joel, my man, love all you do. Thank you. You're welcome, Gleggeezy. Good to see you. Thank you. Never trust shrink. Psychiatry is evil. Never commit yourself to an institution ever. I'll submit my story, and I promise if you read it, I won't. Yeah, send it in. Let's read. Let's read submissions at gmail.com. Am I a Scientologist? I am not a Scientologist. No. Never. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. Is it scientific? The really creepy part, when at 6 p.m. on the dot, the doorbell rang, and my brother answered it, and it was one of his buddies, Kyle. Not quite Carl, but close enough. But he'd only dropped around to hang out, and that was no mystery really there. And I hung out with my brother for about a week and then headed home. When I reached home, I had a message from my brother, and on his way from leaving my brother's place, Kyle got into a car accident. He had 2 broken legs, but was set to make a full recovery. So was it a coincidence, or did this woman somehow have a premonition of Kyle and not Carl getting into an accident? And if so, why did she tell me what time he'd be visiting? I don't believe in the paranormal. I think it was weird and a creepy coincidence where we can see patterns where there was none. But I can tell you one thing. I never use public restrooms anymore, and I'd rather get caught peeing in the public than open a stall door and see that woman standing on the toilet, staring blankly over my head. I'm the biggest Scientologist you ever met. His lawyers advised him not to talk about it. They did. They said, Joel, don't mention the Scientology thing. People don't like it. I think, like, you get your own planet when you die. I'm pretty sure Mormonism, actually, you get your own planet when you die, which is kind of funny. So, I don't even know what even is going on. We have so many religions. There should be like a cap on religions. Oh my god. Okay, we're cruising. It's kind of interesting though. I mean, just the fact that like almost every human in some way is like inclined towards the natural desire to like, you know, believe in a religion. Creating your own religion back in the day was the method. Maybe I should do it for mine just so I can get some tax write-offs. In fact, guys, this is a real house of worship right here on the stream. Hey Joel, I'm a long-time listener to your channel, and I had a story on your video a few months ago about a dead guy in a I heard a story. Hey Joel, I'm a full-time Jesus fucking Christ. I think it's just because it helps with scary thoughts. Yeah, I guess if you were constantly worrying about dying all the time, it would be hard to stave off the anxiety. Which makes sense a little bit, yeah. Wonder why we're so worried about dying. You'd think you get to like a certain age and like the fear of death would just kind of go away, and you think it would be like directly proportionate to like your body's innate knowledge of how to procreate, you know what I mean? Because presumably you would be very protective of yourself to get to the point of procreation, and then, but you know, you would think that there'd be some aspect of you past a certain age where like self-preservation would not be as like prevalent or something, you know? Boop, the Corvette with the 369 Buttersock Church donation. Thank you. That's getting written off, guys. Or rather, not taxed. It's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Remember when any death-related word on YouTube censored, so people started saying games ended? Yeah, it's fucking stupid as shit. Like, even the fact that, like, unalived, like, still exists within, like, YouTube. Like, can you imagine if they said unalived in a fucking, like, horror murder mystery movie? You know what I mean? You're watching fucking Sherlock Holmes or some shit, or you're watching, like, Friday the 13th, and you're like, the victim was unalived and graped. Not pretty, Sarge, not pretty at all. Like, you would just walk out of the fucking theater. Can we fucking stop it with this TikTok bullshit and this, like, weird self-censorship nonsense? It's like, because you still know what the concept is, and it's all said to, like, bypass, you know what I mean? It's like, all it really indicates is that robots are terrible at picking up on dumb shit, and that it doesn't actually matter because the content is still allowed to exist within the ecosystem of it, you know what I mean? It's just, like, it's all just so fucking cringe. Just let people say what they want to fucking say. Like, just lie to the advertisers. I know that sounds bad, but just fucking, like, tell them to eat shit. People are going to say what they're going to want to say. Who cares what their, you know, product is associated with? You know, they need to come back anyways. This was one of my favorite podcasts on YouTube. We're talking about the LA page pre-trans, and the name was being bleeped out. I don't know. I guess they're just terrified of getting canceled and stuff. That's how it goes, man. Self-delete. Yeah, it's just fucking retarded. It does feel disrespectful. It actually, like, feels worse. Like imagine someone's making a documentary about your, you know, mother who was murdered by your drunk alcoholic uncle or whatever the fuck, and then your mommy was unalived. Sorry to tell you. Ooh, goo goo gaga. Goo goo gaga. Here's a little bottle to suckle on while we talk about how mommy was eviscerated. What's up, lady alien? How we doing? Unearthed. Unearthed. It's a woke term for alien. Non-Earth. Actually, they do have a woke term for alien. It's called a non-human intelligence. NHI. We've got a non-human intelligence. I mean, granted, I guess non-human intelligence means, like, it could be like interdimensional beings as well. But it honestly is pretty much like the mansplaining word for aliens. Her lifetime membership was prematurely canceled. I fucking hate, like, this, like, newspeak nonsense. It's so fucking cringe. Thankfully, it's getting, like, people are able to just say whatever the fuck now. It was so boring. There was, like, fucking 5 years where, like, you deviated even, like, 1 inch away from the words they wanted you to say, and it was like, rah, rah. Like, it was like the fucking Quiet Place. You make one whisper of something that, like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't fucking do that. Rah, I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you. Hey Joel, I'm a long-time listener of your channel, and I heard a story on a video a few months ago about a dead guy in a werewolf costume, and it reminded me of a creepy story of my own. I'm a bit of a slow writer, so it's taken forever to write it in, but here it is. So the boys and I were on a road trip from Scotland down to London for my pal's wee brother's stag do. What's a stag do? Let's make words mean nothing at all so we can no longer communicate beyond grunts and whines and the burying of spittle bubbles on your bottom lip. I will speak with my bone hammer. When I really want to communicate something important, the bone hammer will make contact with your skull, and my shrieks of joy will express my winning of an argument. Me and the boys were on a road trip from Scotland down to London for my pal's wee brother's stag do. Not a fan of the city, honestly. It's, well, London, and hang around Dawson or Camden for a few days as a tourist and you'll know exactly what I mean. And so normally I wouldn't be caught dead on a road trip down to that crap hole of a place, but all Jim's wee brothers, Barry was getting married like, and for some cursed reason he'd asked Jim to be his best man and to bring his mates for the stag do. And it was kind of sad, actually. I found out later that Barry had moved down to London for his career, but hadn't really met anyone that he'd called a good friend. And his side of the wedding was looking as empty as a nun's body count. And so us, being good boys, all piled into Jim's Vauxhall. I forget, do I always fuck this one up? Vauxhall.
Vauxhall. Quick and to the point. Vauxhall. I climb into his Vauxhall, driving my Vauxhall.
Say whatever the hell you want. So us, being good boys, all piled into Jim's Vauxhall and made the trip from near Glasgow down to Kensington. Now, fun fact, did you know that there's a bar in Kensington that at least at one time was called the Cockpit? Unsure if it was one of those types of bars, but we tried to persuade Jim to make a stop there on our pub crawl, but he was having none of it. Now anyway, I'm rambling away like a twat, and the story isn't about the stag do, which went on like a charm, and same can't be said for the wedding. Effing Barry got cold feet at the last minute and called everything off, and he wasn't the flavor of the month for a while. Now this story is about the road trip. On the way there, before all the will they, won't they, no they bloody won't drama kicked off, I remember we were on some kind of back road just into England, but not the motorway. But there's no shiting way that I can tell the exact road and the exact junction with the precise detail that some of these lads who write into you can remember. It blows my mind, that does. Now what I do remember, though, was the hairy-fanged hitchhiker standing on the side of the road, holding up a sign that read, "Need to get to the Werewolves of London. Will pay for petrol." Now me and the lads had a proper laugh at this, and it was May, so this lad wasn't on his way to a Halloween party or anything. It looked like he was just using the Werewolves of London song as a sort of joke to try and actually get someone to stop and give him a ride for the lulz. Now, I was driving at this point, and I decided screw it. It'd make for a mad story to tell at Barry's wedding, so about 300 yards past the guy, I decided to pull in and ask the others if they were all good with bringing this comedy hitchhiker along with us. Hell, he seemed like a good laugh. Maybe he could tag along to the stag do in full costume. Now, old Ewan fretted the F. What the fucking hell, mate? Free loosh, everyone grab your looshy. Loosh extractor. They should make like a kid's toy that's kind of like a bit of like a ram's horn, but it's small. And you put it up to someone's head and kind of, it's like a straw, but you're like sucking out someone's loosh. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm taking your loosh, it's mine. What the fuck is this? Old Ewan fretted the F about it, like Lucian. Lucius Clay. Ewan. Old Ewan. You really gotta loosen up. Do I collect anything? Pokemon cards. Pokemon singles. Obviously, right? But yeah. Don't get me started on it. It's bad. Board games like Operation expect you to extract the loosh. Oh, that's a good point. Wait, is one of the things called loosh? When people were like, I was essayed and I'm triggered, I'm like, so was I, and I don't go around saying grape. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Like well, okay. So they say essayed because they're trying to avoid breaking terms of services and mentioning said topic. But if a human were to review it, they would see exactly that topic has still been talked about in the form of using an acronym. And then if the reason for that, terms of service issue is saying essayed actually, quote unquote, triggers the person or a person that was previously sexually assaulted, how the person who's been sexually assaulted isn't going to hear essayed and be like, whew, I thought you were going to talk about that terrible fucking thing that happened to my butt before. But instead they hear essay, it just doesn't happen in their head the same. It's just like, it's all just a big fucking like fart smelling contest to who can be like the most self-censorious. It's like, you know what, at this point you should just put fucking chains around your neck and go live in a fucking castle's dungeon. Like, what is the fucking point of all of these like weird, stupid new words? Like, shut up. I got YouTube AI censor for using the word stabbing in the video, and NYC subway stabbing. It should have been like aggressive poking. Yeah, the virtue signaling is. I'm just so over it. Just like so extraordinarily over listening to like a single person try to tell me something about their moral high ground while also genuinely being like the biggest dickhead you've ever met in your life. You know what I mean? Like these people that love to like lecture people all day until it's actually really convenient for them to like justify death or bringing violence against someone because they're preemptively fighting against their word violence. Like, it's just like, you're a fucking psycho. You are a psycho who's like hijacked these movements just to justify your own psychopathy, and you need to go to jail or therapy or something fucking way more than whatever the fuck you think you're attempting to do here. One party consented knife puncture incident. Exactly. That's what you're gonna see in a British tabloid here soon.
He was passed away by a one-party consented knife puncture incident. A bit of the stabby.
Old Ewan fretted the F about it like he always does. What if the guy's a serial killer? He's dressed like a werewolf. That's so unsettling. And I said that there were 4 of us and one of him, and no actual hitchhiking serial killer dresses like a movie monster to lure in his victims. And it seemed to me like giving this lad a ride was just about the safest thing we could do, except for leaving him to just eat our dust. Now Jim and Andy were both up for it, so the arseholes voted that since it was my idea, I'd be the one to trudge back and offer him a lift. When I got out and shown tards it. You know how back in the day parents, especially moms, would rename body parts to make them seem better, like dingy for penis and whatever they would say for vagina? Yeah. Dingle dong. At least we're using those words to avoid, I don't know, corrupting the mind of children or something is like kind of normal, I guess. I don't know. But like just infantilizing like adults for fucking ever is it's getting old, man. It's getting real old. I think a lot of these people go to therapy and they just have their feelings affirmed there. You know, that's a fair point too. I mean, I say go to therapy, but really what they need to do is go fight in a war. Go fight in a fucking war and then sit there and come back and bitch about the dumb shit that they bitch about. Maybe they just need like a sudden and abrupt like perspective change. What a dongle dog. A man bear pig. What's up, Hawk? How we doing, bro? When I got out and shone a torch towards it, I was kind of surprised to discover that he hadn't started heading towards the car. Maybe he hadn't noticed us pulling in. The sun had set by now, and he probably had limited vision with that stupid party werewolf mask he had on. And so I shut the torch off and decided that I was going to have a little fun of my own. This guy was clearly down for some spooky shenanigans, trying to hitchhike as a werewolf, so I figured I'd sneak up on him and try to give him a scare before offering him the ride he'd obviously be grateful for. And so I snuck over the barrier onto the grass verge and snuck towards this weirdo hitchhiker. But before I did, I saw another car pull right beside the fellow, and the car's headlights were on and the hitchhiker had been standing under a street lamp, and so I had a good look at what was going on. A lad my age was driving, and it looked like he had a passenger around our age too. I saw him lean out and talk to the werewolf hitchhiker, and it looked like they were exchanging some good-natured banter. Some Bruce Banner. Some Bruce banter. Oh. David is not guilty? Is that what happened? They found him not guilty? Musician David Anthony Burke was arrested and charged with... Wait. Is he found guilty yet? He's guiltier than OJ. I imagine so. No, David has not been found guilty yet. He pleaded not guilty. Oh, okay. And the legal process still in early stages. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were typing that in chat because they came to some verdict or something. Why did you type? Well, I mean, it's fun. If that's what you think, I don't know. I mean, I'm more of the litigious type, so I'd like to hear your perspective for sure. This is random about the actual fruit, but are you a peel the grapes person or just eat the motherfucker type? This is a I was today years old when I found out situation. Really? I've never in my life ever met anyone who's ever peeled skin off of a grape, and that sounds like someone who might enjoy torturing people for the cartel, so I might be a little bit worried. No, it's all good. But no, I've never heard of anyone peeling skin off a grape. Obviously like an orange or a banana. Who the hell is David, and is everyone spelling it weird? He's like a musical artist who like fucking was, I don't even know what the fuck, he like groomed and kidnapped like this 11-year-old girl and then fucking killed her or something at some, let me just read it, I'm sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful, but David case explained. Okay, indie pop singer David Anthony Burke had been found charged with first-degree murder, continuous sexual abuse, and unlawful mutilation of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Prosecutors allege he stabbed the teenager to death and dismembered her body to protect his music career after she threatened to expose their long-term relationship. He had pleaded not guilty and is being held without bail. Jesus Christ. I know too many people that do that with their grapes, but there's so many grapes. There's fucking like, there's like 100 grapes in every like bushel of grapes. How the hell, like how do you even skin a grape? You would need like I don't even know, you would need some type of machine that has like incredible precision. Do you remember that one time where it was like, they skinned a grape, or they just, what was that meme? Remember that for a while? It was like they skinned a grape meme. They did surgery on a grape. Like you would need the surgery on a grape machine to like remove skin from a grape. Like who the fuck, what the fuck is that? What are you? Slowly peeling the fucking skin off the grape's face as it's screaming. Just fucking eat me. A lad my age was driving, and it looked like he had a passenger around our age too. I saw him lean out and talk to the werewolf hitchhiker, and it looked like they were exchanging some good-natured banter. It seemed like the fellow was about to get his ride and we'd have to head off our way. And then I froze. From the bracken lining the road, 3 figures dressed in black, wearing balaclavas, snuck around the back of the car. One of them yanked the passenger out and tossed him onto the verge, and then started kicking him ferociously. Another one of the black-clad men kind of got the first guy to settle down, then they must have restrained or tied the passenger up or something, and sort of marched him off the road and onto the grass, so he wasn't in any danger of getting hit, I guess. Now meanwhile, the other black-clad figure was having a tough old time with the driver trying to drag him out of the vehicle, and then the werewolf hitchhiker pulled out what looked to be a pistol and aimed it at the driver. Cue another beating, another tying up, and the driver being thrown into the grass, siding to... Are we there yet? Guys, I feel like you guys are trolling me. There's not a single person on Earth who skins their grapes. Peel me a grape, mate. Who is skinning their grapes? That would take hours. Years even. To do every grape on Earth? Well, you don't have to do every one of them, but like you would need to do quite a few to feel any degree of satiation from eating a bushel of grapes. I mean, do all of you have like some sort of Egyptian slave that peels every one of your grapes with its like strange alien tech and then lowers them into your mouth one by one? I'm starting to think that's the case. Have you ever had a bowl of eyeballs? I've not, Justin. Cue another beating, another tying up, and the driver being thrown into the grass siding to join his mate. The werewolf ripped his mask off, and I got a bit of a look at his face, and he had one of those sort of lip scars. You know, the ones that you get from corrective surgery as a wean, and I guess he didn't think any witnesses were around to catch his face. Suddenly, I was bricking it, because I realized that they were going to drive right past our idling car, and God knows what they'd do if they thought that we were witnesses. And imagine my relief when the carjackers gunned the engine and did a 180 on that empty road and then shot off in the opposite direction. I ran to check on the driver and his passenger. They were bruised and the passenger had been seemingly knocked unconscious, but the driver was just about awake. He gave the same story we'd had. This guy dressed as some comedy cartoon werewolf was clearly not going to be some threat, and it was actually a pretty clever way to put people at ease. I realized it worked the opposite way too. We'd all just been too adamant that this guy was safe that we didn't even consider some ploy. I managed to get some phone reception and immediately called the police. What do they call them in Scotland? Police? Grandpa gave you a cow eye one time. What'd you do with it? Look at this, sweetheart. Don't eat it. Let's say Mr. Bombastic. Straight fantastic. Bomba clat chicken nugget. 50 bomba clat pussy clap chicken nugget. What's the quote from that one again? Y'all remember that one? The kid with the chicken nugget? Yeah, how do you say... What do Scottish people look like? Call police. The police. Police Scotland. Or do they call them... whatever, we'll just say police. Say polis, but run the words together. Polis. Oh. They don't just say police. Do they phonetically write it out that way? P-O-L-I-S. Polis. I managed to get some phone reception and immediately called the police. And then I called Jim back at the car and told him what had happened. And cue the lads all calling me variants of the C word, as if this was my fault. Long story short, the cops told us that this was the third instance nearby of someone dressed as some furry hitchhiker using this comedy value to kick off a carjacking. The first 2 cars had been found burned a few miles away. No idea what the purpose was, and the same thing ended up happening with this latest car I found. I kept in touch with the driver, invited them to the stag do too, but they weren't really feeling up for it, obviously. We made it to the hotel at like 9 in the morning, and with one hell of a story to tell Barry. He seemed kind of distracted, even when the drinks were flowing and we were partying hard late that night, but obviously that was the cold.
What?
Can't blame him for not being blown away by our story when... whoops. He seemed kind of distracted, even when the drinks were flowing and we were partying hard late that night, but obviously that was the old cold feet. Can't blame him for not being blown away by our story when he was planning on ditching his bride at the altar. I still think that was a prick move. Anyway, moral of the story is this. Don't pick up any kind of hitchhikers. The harmless ones might just be the most dangerous. The harmless ones might just be the most dangerous, and if someone's dressed like a predator, maybe believe them. Mr. Bombastic. Okay, holy hell. How much more we gotta go here? This is the last story. Sonomi, what up? Sounds like I have a French accent. What do you mean? I am willing to bet that I am one of your older listeners at a grand old age of 67. Ever since I could talk, I'd tell my dad to put his rock and roll records on, and me and my entire family knew that the music was in my blood. Guitarist, lead singer, hell, even drummer, they were in my future. It's my favorite medication. Bang, energy drinks. Okay, guys, stay focused. I'm gonna be playing Halos, so don't expect me to be around for the next 2 weeks. Your boy is busy. What the fuck are you playing Halo for? With who? It's everything you say is just... I don't know if we can... Just misinformation. Just non-stop Mr. and Mrs. Misinformation. I'm willing to bet that I'm one of your older listeners at a grand old age of 67, and ever since I could talk, I'd tell my dad to put his rock and roll records on, and my entire family and I knew that music was in my blood. Guitarist, lead singer, hell, even drummer, they were in my future. Instead, I'm a retired accountant, but with how tired I feel these days and how much my joints ache, I'm not sure that the rock and roll life would have been for me. Now, I may not have found superstardom in a band, but I did attend plenty of concerts in my day. Bands who split up, bands who aren't even alive anymore. Some of my live shows I've seen could make you spit. Carol, thank you for the 5. Says, hi, Buttersaw Colton. Joel just wanted to pop in and say hi to you all. I'm going to get drunk with my grieving friend. Now wish me luck. It's been years. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Good luck. Don't drink too much. God, I feel like drinking while grieving is like maybe the worst thing. Oh, wait. Oh, jeez. It keeps saying Carol's donation with... Oh, okay. Maybe it's just like repeating it over and over again. That's weird. Hopefully she didn't actually donate that much or something. How autistic does it make me that I never drank alcohol in my 23 years of life? You know, if you didn't really have a reason to and nobody ever asked you to, 23 is, you know, young, right? So it just means that you didn't drink when you were in high school and you didn't drink when you may or may not have went to college, and it's not like you're missing anything. I mean, it literally is poison, right? It's poison that you put into your body to make you feel like slightly loopy. And I'll be honest, like the amount of loopy that I like to feel when I'm drinking is like the first 1 or 2 drinks, and then beyond that it's just like your body trying to figure out how to make you not feel like complete fucking dog shit tomorrow. Bands who've split up, bands who aren't even alive anymore, some of the live shows I've seen could make you spit with jealousy. And the concert I was attending when this event happened was a show on Kiss's The Alive tour. And I can't even remember where the venue was these days, only that it wasn't the infamous Detroit show. Now, the problem with concerts back then was that I was 17 and still didn't have my license. Now, I was, according to our driver's ed teacher, the biggest liability behind the wheel that he'd ever seen. And I think I'm a bit of a better driver these days. Now, anyway, the point was, I could drive myself cross-country to see these shows, and my friends were into lame crap like Simon and Garfunkel or Bob Dylan. Now, of course, I realize... I can't have beer because of gluten. I do have the occasional wine and margarita. I haven't had one this summer yet. What the hell? So how the heck are you, and what did you do for supper? I'm good. Supper was... I went over to my friend's place, had ground beef seasoned and put into a bowl of rice with a bunch of other Mexican treats. Mexican dog food. And it was yummy. Tired? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be in bed already. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 8. It's not super early, but I don't know. I don't get good sleep, man. Fucking sucks. Friend? You mean slave? Anyways. Of course, I realized these people weren't lame crap. Of course, I realized these people weren't lame crap at all these days, but back then, I was all about the rock, baby. And so nobody wanted to spend 3 or 4 days in a car with me to chauffeur me to a concert they didn't even want to watch. And this meant that my best method of travel was taking the Greyhound bus. However, that cost money, and I was a broke high schooler, so I took the second best option, hitchhiking. I'd hitched a bunch of times. Holy shit. Sounds like I eat a lot of Mexican food. Yeah, believe it or not, we're right next to Mexico here in the United States. It just keeps making its way over the border and into my mouth. It's crazy. I'd hitched a bunch of times when this happened, and everything had gone fine, which is a small miracle when you think about it. But my luck was about to run out when that old beaten-up red Volkswagen camper van pulled up, and I could see a long-haired guy in the driver's seat, and it looked like he was wearing an AC/DC shirt. Sick. And then the door slid open, and I saw the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in all my life. She was the kind of girl you dream of when you're a 17-year-old boy, and then I saw another guy in the back, and my heart fell. He was obviously her boyfriend. Now, the girl asked where I was headed, and I told her that I was headed to the Kiss concert. It turns out that was exactly where they said they were going, and she said that I was welcome to ride with them as long as I didn't mind putting up with her annoying brothers. So, no boyfriends then, I guess. I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all. I was some 17-year-old kid. Drugs and rock and roll were on my mind pretty much all the time. And that's why I was totally psyched when, as soon as we got back on the road, the girl offered me a joint. I'm going to call her Janice because in my head at the time she reminded me of Janis Joplin. The other two guys can be Peter and Will, I guess, and the younger brother and the driver. If you wear the grape skins, the naked grapes cleanse your bowels while the skin cleanses the sins you committed last night. What? The other two guys can be Peter and Will, younger brother and the driver. Janice was quick to light up and seemed intent on filling the van with as much weed smoke as possible. The windows were closed, so it didn't take long before we were hotboxing ourselves, laughing at the stupidest crap. And I remember talking rock and roll and being a little surprised that the rock trio didn't really have much in the way of opinions when it came to rock music. Now, eventually, the joint had been smoked to within an inch of its life, and that's when I noticed it. The van stank. And I mean it really stank. I'd never smelled anything like it, and it was suddenly so strong that I can't believe that even the weed masked it. And I'm telling you, it smelled like Sodom and Gomorrah in that vehicle. Not that I know what Sodom and Gomorrah smelled like, but I imagine it was exactly like that. Now, I don't know how to describe it. It was like the rot mixed with death, mixed with lavender, mixed with perfume and incense, and the lingering smell of weed. Throw in Peter's BO, which I suddenly realized was almost intolerable as he moved across the seat to me. And how could these people tolerate this and with the windows closed? Now, I wasn't exactly the most hygienic clean freak. I was a whoops. Amelia, welcome to the Buttersuck Call. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you. Skins for our sins. Have you ever had a dream a meteor struck the Earth? Yes, I have. It's been forever, but I definitively have at some point. It's been so long, though. Skins for our sins. Come on, everybody. Skins for our sins. All together now. Joel's the driver, so we gotta ask him if we are there yet. We're getting there. We have not that much longer to go. Keep your trap shut. Just kidding. What is Sodom? It's like a place in the Bible. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah, where just like cities where everyone had gay sex or whatever, and then God was like, I'm gonna blow that shit up with a fucking meteor. And I think that was the meteor that I dreamed of, was specifically one that fell into a gay guy's butt. I wasn't exactly the most hygienic clean freak. I was a teenage boy with crusty socks tucked under my mattress. And boys, you'll know exactly what I mean by this, but this stench was too much. Suddenly Will looks back, taking his eyes off of the road for an alarming amount of time, and asked Janice and Peter if they thought Daddy was going to be okay. Now, okay, they weren't apparently siblings, and I know girls still call their fathers daddy right into adulthood, but it was weird as heck to hear two grown men talking about daddy. Peter insisted that this daddy could look after himself. Janice started lamenting how it might affect daddy because of the tragic events that happened to someone called Charlie. Now, I tried to insert myself into this conversation here, asking if Charlie was okay and if he was a member of the family. Janice giggled and told me that they didn't know Charlie, but they deeply loved him. The problem was that Daddy felt spiritually free while Charlie was allowed to work, and now he'd been usurped by the man. I got this sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach as I wondered if there was any chance they were talking about Charles Manson, and that Daddy was maybe one of his followers or acolytes who hadn't been caught or identified. Filled with idiotic teenage bravado, I decided to simply ask, acting as if I was some big fan of the murderous cult leader. Now, I had gone through a period where I tried to convince myself his music was good, so I wasn't totally lying. And instead of acknowledging me, Janice made it pretty clear that she didn't want to address the topic when she announced that it was way too hot in the van and how could any of us stand it. I just sat there as a teenage boy in awe as she stripped away her t-shirt, leaving herself completely bare-chested. I was a little taken aback at the cigarette burn scars that I could see on her body, but at least they looked old and healed. Janice made a big show of pretending that she hadn't noticed the effects that she had on me, but I could tell that she enjoyed the reaction because she kept asking me questions to direct my attention towards her and give me an excuse to look. The questions started out innocent enough, like how many girls had I made out with? 3, but I told her 8. Had I been with any of them? Yes, which was true, although it was the most awkward moment of my life for both of us, and to this day I'm not even sure if it really counts as such. And then she asked me if I'd ever hurt anyone. I said that yeah, probably, by accident, but she said no. Had I ever really hurt anyone? Like caused serious damage to another person? I said that no, I hadn't. Janice giggled and said neither had she, but that Peter had some stories. Peter, who was about 5'6" and skinny as a rake, didn't exactly look like the dangerous type, but you never know. Janice told me that I should take a look over the back seat to see the gift that they were bringing Daddy. My nose had acclimatized. Fuck. That word always fucking gets me. Acclimatized. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. You know, shit. My nose had acclimatized to the smell of Satan's sweaty butthole at this point, but as soon as I leaned over the back seat, it was like being hit with an olfactory WMD. I can't even describe the smell, but I can describe the source. If you're squeamish, maybe stop listening for 30 seconds. And in the storage area of the VW was a clear plastic box filled with some kind of offal, as they say. Emphasis on the oaf. Yeah, we'll see entrails. In the storage area of the VW was a clear plastic box filled with some kind of animal entrails. Now, the unidentified meat was crawling with maggots, some of which were just starting to emerge as flies. And I studied for as long as I could, trying to determine whether I was looking at a human body. I couldn't see any bones or anything besides rotting chunks of meat, and Janice asked me if she thought Daddy would like it. I had no idea what to say. I didn't want to offend these people and end up in that bucket, and at the same time I was somehow still taking in the sights Janice was offering. She was drawing my attention with her movements and her stretching, and she knew it, trying to put me at ease, I guess. In the end, I told her that I thought Daddy would love it and that it seemed to please everyone because it was met with a round of applause. Now, for half an hour we sat there awkwardly as I avoided asking about Daddy or their rotting cargo, and instead tried to direct the conversation back to music. Now, I soon began to suspect that they weren't attending this Kiss concert at all, and this is what snapped me out of my stupor. I had to get out of here, and there was no way that I was leaping out of a moving vehicle. Thankfully, these 3 idiots offered me an opportunity. Further up the highway was a gas station. Will announced that we needed gas, and Janice said that she was craving some beef jerky. And without seeming like my heart was about to explode with terror, I told them that I needed to use the restroom. Hey, big fan, saw someone stealing your content as the channel Deadly Whisper YouTube. Do you think what do I do? Because people have mentioned this. It seems like a lot of people are all getting suggested that channel, which is Deadly Whisper, 1,000 subscribers. Do I just report it? 20 hours ago, they're still doing it. What are you doing? Please take down your channel. First and only warning. Does that sound scary? Justin, people steal your stuff? Just weird. Without seeming like my heart was about to explode with terror, I told them that I needed to use the bathroom. Really bad. And so they let me out and I ran to the outdoor restroom. I'm not sure what my plan was from there. Sneak out the back window, sneak into the gas station and tell them that I was hitchhiking with a bunch of loonies carting around rotten meat who might be part of a satanic cult. I shouldn't have worried. From inside the restroom, I heard the sound of tires peeling away and a vehicle speeding off like their lives depended on it. Considering the VW was the only vehicle in the lot when we got there, I had a feeling that I was the one who'd been ditched. Now, sure enough, when I peeked out of the restroom, the VW was gone. My backpack, which I had left in the camper in case it looked suspicious, had been thrown into the parking lot, its contents sort of thrown all over the ground. And like a dumb kid, my absolute first concern was to check the wad of money I had in my backpack. I was certain they'd robbed me, but no. Not only had they left all of my money, they specifically removed it from its hidden compartment in my backpack, as if to say, we could have stolen this, but we didn't. I went into the gas station and told the attendant, and another kindly woman, an older. YouTube has gone on record saying it's not our problem. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what's that? Your issue's copyrighted, so I hit him with a claim. Wait, what? Is it the channel that you're currently commenting from? Because didn't you just start music stuff? And someone's already stealing your stuff? Wait, Joel, your channel was issued a warning? What do you mean? Somebody was stealing my videos and I was saying, should I warn them, basically? Or just report it? It's just stupid. I went into the gas station and told the attendant, an older, kindly woman, everything. And I asked her advice, and she was a bit baffled. They hadn't technically committed a crime, but with all the cult crap going on following the Manson family's murder spree and capture, it was fairly obvious that they had something bad in mind. Or it could have been an incredibly messed up prank on just some poor kid. And that's what the cops thought anyway. I wouldn't give my name during the call, and I don't think this helped my case, but I had a record and I really did not like cops. They told me it was probably just a prank and I should just count myself lucky, and then they hung up. But it still haunts me to this day. Were they some kind of sicko cult members who worship Manson? Who was this daddy figure? And were they just pranking me, screwing with the kid they picked up on the side of the road? Now, in the years that followed my encounters, I kept an eye on the news for any raids or cult. Did you ever ding-dong ditch as a kid? Yeah. I pretty much did all the dumb, stupid shite. And The only thing I do remember is specifically is like throwing, like during Halloween, throwing toilet paper up into a tree and realizing that it's like way harder to completely coat a tree in toilet paper than, you know, the movies kind of present. Alright, y'all, I reported the channel, also left a message to tell them to take the channel down. Everyone should do the same and stand up for Joel. Yeah, what was it called? Deadly Whisper. Let me see if I can... Deadly Whisper. I'm gonna link the channel. I mean, I don't know, there it is. Maybe you can tell them to... They're stealing Let's Read stuff. You're stealing. It's not like we're trying to brigade it, though. I mean, don't say anything mean or threatening, but just, you know... You don't have to say anything, honestly. I don't know. Any Joel rants tonight? I don't think I ranted about anything, did I? I ran! In the years that followed my encounter, I kept an eye on the news for any raids on cult compounds. There seemed to be a few, but I had no way of telling if Janice, Will, and Peter were a part of them. Now, I would have left this here. I wouldn't have even sent this story in, but then, a week or two, something extremely eerie happened. I was walking down the street in a totally different state from where all of this occurred. And then I saw a homeless woman around my age slumped in a doorway, and she looked strangely familiar. She gave me a similar look of familiarity too, and I walked past, doing my best to ignore. She gave me a similar look of familiarity too. I walked past, doing my best to ignore it, but then she called out. A mass of reports probably triggers a moderation bot. Yeah, is that negative for me or negative for them? Matt. Matt, please come to the front of the class. And then I saw a homeless woman around my age slumped in a doorway, and she looked strangely familiar. She gave me a similar look of familiarity too, and I walked past, doing my best to ignore her, but then she called out. She called out and told me that Daddy didn't like their offering, and he wanted nothing more to do with them, and he told them the only way to make penance was to spend the rest of their lives in suffering. I just ignored her and walked on, and a few minutes later I felt a hand tap my shoulder. Here we go, I thought. She's actually coming after me. But I turned and it was just this puzzled-looking man in a suit. He told me that a homeless woman a few buildings down had begged, to the point of tears, for him to pass a message on to me, and she asked him to persuade me to tell Daddy to love her again. The man was so confused and baffled and worried that this woman was in genuine danger that he felt compelled to reach out to me. And when he asked what the story was, I just told him that he really, really didn't want to know, and to not engage with that woman any further. 3 days later, I did see a news story that a man had been stabbed in the local park while jogging at night. He seemed like he was going to be fine, but in the photo that sent chills down my spine, he was going to be fine, but it was the photo that sent chills down my spine. It was the guy Janice had unsuccessfully sent to speak to me. Now I'm going to speak to the cops and ask what, if anything, I can do. I feel deeply unsafe, and if this stabbing is connected to everything, and then who knows what level Janice might stoop to in order to reconnect with Daddy. Alright. Alright, I gotta get going. Just read this outro and bust on out of here. Daddy Uwu.
Bug just flew on you? What kind of bug was it? Diddy's daddy. Oh no. Hold on a second. In the years that followed my encounter, I kept an eye on the news for any raids on cult compounds. There seemed to be a few, but I have no way of telling if Janice, Will, and Peter were a part of them. Alright. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and there are super fun live streams on Sundays and Wednesday nights. If you got a story, be sure to submit them over at my email, letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories and big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. I also have a true crime channel called Saturn Soul. All links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, if you peel grapes, you're a psycho. Hey y'all, please take care and don't take the drugs out here now. Fentanyl just killed my... Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Alright, guys. I'm going to go to bed. So I hope you guys have a good night. I'm going to get this up and edited over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there for early access, but... Oh, wait. I have to match what Roki gave. So let me do that real quick. But yeah, it's $5. If you got gifted a membership, be sure to thank whoever gave it to you, and check out the bonus content. Over on Patreon, though, it's there's the bonus content on the $5 tier, but I've also moved the movie review podcast to the $5 tier, which I have another one of those coming out for Jacob's Ladder tomorrow, so check that out if you get bored. Otherwise, enjoy this stuff. Boom, friends. There you go. Thank you again, Roki. And thank you guys to everyone who supported tonight. Really appreciate you. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. You guys rock. You're always awesome and nice to me, so I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to go to bed, but I'll get this up on YouTube tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9 p.m. EST every Monday and Thursday. We'll have another stream this coming Sunday. It'll be bonus content, so be sure to come check that out. It's going to be fun. Otherwise, guys, follow me on Instagram at letsread.official to be kept up to date when I go live. You can check out my story. Good night, guys. Be good.